Top of the morning to everyone involved. Yes, we are in the barbershop. And yes, today we have something for the thinkers. We got a little something for those that is ready to analyze and break down what's going on right now with the Cleveland Browns. And they told you that the quarterback competition would be over by now. They told you that everything we needed to see, if everything plays out today, by today, we would know who the starting quarterback would be for the Cleveland Browns. And if there's any ramifications of another missed prediction, today the chickens will come home to roost. You've been wrong so many times. You've been wrong. You've been lost in the sauce. I can't even count them now. See, today what we're going to do is we're going to remind you, because we got about 6 weeks off. I've been giving you this storyline, and I've been breaking this stuff down about what's going on with the Cleveland Browns. And I'm going to just be honest with you, man. Sometimes the scorekeeper has to come back up, show and prove that the scorekeeper understands what you've been trying to do and how you're going to move. Today we break it down psychology. We break it down your emotionalism. Today we break down why football players actually know what goes on with football. And we also break down why every single person is still scrambling today to figure out the next excuse as to why you were so far off. Because today the quarterback battle actually isn't over. Some would say, not only is it not over, the person who you said was going to lose the battle is actually now in first place. He is now low-key in first place. You probably want to know how you say that, G. Bush. How you want to say? Well, that's why you got a couple of hours to get tight, get yourself ready and lock on in, because this is one for the books. You already know what it's your boy G. Bush right here on, you know what it is, the biggest, the best, you know what it is when we do, it's the Barbershop. Welcome on in. We appreciate your patience. 434 people in here. Let's rock and roll today. Minicamp is over for the Cleveland Browns. And again, I've been watching around. I've been looking. And this is what I love about doing Saturday content. Because actually Saturday content usually was at the end of the week. People say, nobody's tuned in on Saturday to listen to this content. Oh, no. This is the new news week. See, the Barbershop changed the game. See, on weekends, it was all, you're just a weekend host. No. Weekend news is the beginning of the work week. So the work week started on a Saturday. Oh, you didn't know? Work week started on Saturday. By the time you even get to something on Monday and Tuesday, we already done cooked on it. We got the shorts out, everything moving around here. So I've been waiting all week. And I was waiting for some things, right? I was waiting on a few certain people that told me, I was waiting on them, that the quarterback competition was going to be over by today. I remember specifically, let me get it. I don't know if I can. I remember some people telling me that the quarterback competition would be done by minicamp. But then again, you got one person. Who every single turn, I ain't right all the time, but at every single turn, there's a bunch of bluster in the community, a bunch of sensationalism in the community, a bunch of extra takes that be in left field in the community. And these guys say this stuff and come back on Monday as if they got the same level of credibility. How? I've never seen somebody wrong so many times in a row. Like literally, time after time after time. Listen, at least somebody would get a win. At least you would get a dub somewhere in between there. Like right now, it's a 30-0 run This looked worse than teams playing the New York Knicks in the playoffs. You up 29 and you just can't get a bucket. Yeah, see, I'm sorry. All you had to do was be right on one thing. But this is a massive L. These are massive L's that we're seeing. And the thing is, if you don't point them out, they'll run around and act like it never happened. You telling me that never happened? Why can a whole industry say that the quarterback competition would be over by the OTAs on involuntary OTAs with no pads on? No sane football. Matter of fact, hold on. I got to remind y'all. Hold on. Let me get to this. Now all of a sudden, you got guys looking around saying, well, this automatically makes a little bit of sense. But why didn't you get that to start with? Why didn't you understand that to begin with? Where is the baseline knowledge and understanding how this game works? I'm confused about the baseline knowledge, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen, barbershop chat, let me know. I'm confused how this can continue on. Because this thing goes way back to last year. Way back. And it's getting so long, I can't even really recite it. It's almost like it's like a nursery rhyme. You're trying to remember it. So if you start going back, they told you Kenny Pickett was good. Let's see if I can do this quickly because it's the greatest hits. I don't want to start off the show with the greatest hits, but I want to remind you how far away from grace they are, how far away from the actual what happened. So remember, I was going to war with people on every platform. It got to a point they had their talking points written down in their phone. From the time they try to tell you Kenny, I don't know why Kenny Pickett's name is just dispersed. We ain't heard him in weeks. They told you Kenny Pickett was good. And then they actually tried to tell you we didn't say that. And then we brought the receipts and he was like, well, we're just going to be quiet. Then they told you Dillon Gabriel was so cold. Think about how the conversation should have been over right there. The conversation should have been over right there. They told you he was cold. They told you he was the starting quarterback if he came back from concussion. They told you all of that and then wrote articles on it and then doubled down and tripled down. And guess what? The coach then came in. He's so far away from contention. I haven't heard a Dillon Gabriel story, and he don't even got the same number no more. So your evaluation on what was actually good and what was actually solid quarterback play was faulty from the beginning because you advocated to people that we all know now that you should have known is not like that at all. And that was the hill you died on. Then you go to the offseason. I had to argue with every single person on every platform. I don't argue with fans. You can have your opinion. But I'm talking about my colleagues. Then the next new thing was Andrew Berry getting fired. He should be gone too. Well, wow. Okay. Wow, let me tell you why they kept him. But we know why you was doing that. We know. We get it. We don't want to rehash that. Then you said, after that one, all three quarterbacks got to go. All three. Gee, you can't say that. You're crazy if you think this is the same quarterback coming back. The same quarterback room. The same quarterback room? I said, yeah. Dillon Gabriel was a third-round pick. Deshaun Watson, they already told you he's going to be on the roster. He'll probably compete. They need to bring somebody in to push him. They need to bring somebody in. Then you went on the greatest hits with that. Shedeur, he might not even be on the roster. today. Where are you people at? Because I could have swore I told you all three of them would be here. But I'm the crazy one. I'm the one that sensationalized. He's just so over the top. I've been over the top, right? I've been over the top cooking. You use Dillon Gabriel as a pawn in your scheme. And now he's still here, like I told you he was. He ain't what we thought he was, and I told you that too. And Deshaun Watson is here. And they didn't cut him. Okay, let's continue on. Now, think about how many wrong things I just said, and we just opened the show. Now, because you didn't like I told you that there was 3 quarterbacks that's going to be here, 3 of them. You started with the greatest hit during free agency. Your favorite, I don't care who your favorite guy is. Who you pick somebody. Pick your favorite station, news channel, media member, and everybody said, Malik Willis, Kyler Murray, Geno Smith, Anthony Richardson. Who else can we get? Can we get somebody else? Any quarterback that had a name, any quarterback that was looking, anyone, all of them. They wrote that that's what the Browns was looking at. They had the owners' meetings. They doing all of these quarterbacks. They done went down the list. And then when that didn't happen, it was quiet. Why, after every period of the season, you go through all of this and then now you're sitting here quiet again? Because guess what they did? Guess what this little guy told you? Guess what this little guy told you? I told you they were going to get linemen. I told you they were going to get receivers. And when those quarterbacks didn't come, you pivoted to the draft. Now, to do the draft, you also have to take the L on Mac Jones, thank you. You also have to do the math on certain things like this. Remember you told us it was Mendoza and then Kate Klubnik and Nussmeier and Drew Aller and Lenore Sellers and Dante Monk. You advocated all those quarterbacks, and I told you based on evaluation, they weren't coming either. So you took an L on that. Then you advocated taking Ty Simpson because you realized nobody else was coming and it was a 1 quarterback class. That didn't happen. Right here on this same very waves, when we were doing mock drafts on air, we always were taking Taylor Green. We always took Taylor Green as a project quarterback. Did we not, chat? Did we not, chat? And while everybody was moving around doing what they was doing, let's check the timeline on my events. Can I check the timeline on my events? While you guys were talking about quarterbacks that entire time, what was G. Bush doing? I was doing members-only content talking about receivers. You know why I was doing members-only content talking about receivers? Because G. Bush actually knew that the Cleveland Browns were looking at receivers. The Cleveland Browns were looking at receivers and multiple ones. Why do you think there was no other people that doubled down on wide receiver content except for the Barbershop? It's not debatable. Don't raise your hand late. Just show me the thumbnails. Can we get to it? Today is what, March? No, today is June. Today is June. You see who was on the cover. We were talking about this, boys and girls, 4 months ago. Because we knew what type of time the Cleveland Browns should and were on. 4 months ago. Do you notice? We didn't do any other spotlights, did we? Me and Tyvis did a receiver pool. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 receivers, showing you what they're looking like. The proof is in the pudding. While you was talking Ty Simpson, we were talking Casey Concepcion, were we not? Don't come around now. Well, you're not the only person. I said it in my coffee meeting. Show me the thumbnail. Do you got one? If you ain't got a thumbnail, we don't believe you. You need more people. Revisionists, okay. But we didn't just stop at one. We didn't stop at one. You know what we also did? We went to another receiver. This is 4 months ago. Who's on the cover? I think it's Denzel Boston. While you were talking about Mendoza, who you weren't getting, and Dante Moore, who you were not getting, and Ty Simpson, who you weren't getting, and the whole time when before the draft and free agency was going around, and you wasted days on Malik Willis, you wasted weeks on Kyler Murray. You wasted weeks talking about this stuff and it wasn't happening. And guess what we were doing? Breaking down people who had a legitimate chance to play for the Cleveland Browns. For all the haters involved, for all the haters, and you only talk about Shedeur. Show me your thumbnail. No, you guys only talk about Shedeur, but you do it in the opposite way. You just hate and get the clicks. But we're going to break that down for y'all too. I'm just receipting it up right now. We got to go back and talk about it so we can understand why you and I are not the same. We came out with no frills, no nothing. So you've been wrong all that time back then, right? And you bring us up to the day. And you said, and you told us that this was supposed to be over by the day. The mothership was supposed to come down from the stars, and the aliens were supposed to take us away to quarterback Shangri-La. We're going to find a quarterback by the day, and everything will be fine and right in the Cleveland sports community. I woke up today, and lo and behold, minicamp is over. OTAs are over. And guess what? They told you what I told you weeks ago. I got the receipts. I told you before. Now all of a sudden is, hold on. Well, I think what they really want to do is, it was all along like a plan with the pads. You know what I'm saying? Like they kind of wanted to do that. But now the way they was working in the quarterback coach said with the pads, it's actually a better situation for Watson because, you know, they feel like in pads. I know I haven't seen Deshaun Watson play in pads in 3 years. And I know I didn't really see it because OTAs is like, they don't have pads. But I feel like in my mind, the way I feel it, the pads is really going to be the advantage to Watson because his pads is better. He older. He wore pads longer. So the pad game is... Oh, goodness. Oh. Let's see what they talk about. Let's see what they get to. What you talking about? Why you mad? What you mean? Come on, Hammer. You know what it will just mean. Here we go.
Quarterback coach said the winner will declare itself pretty quickly once the pads come on.
Okay.
I'm reading into that, believing they think that Watson's ability to deliver the ball under a pass rush is clearly better than Shedeur's right now. And they're not going to go weeks into camp to make this decision. Mm-hmm. Watson's got 10 years experience. I mean, he was a good quarterback at one point. And what's Shedeur's weakness, although he's improving on it?
Getting rid of the ball.
Yeah. And believe me, I've seen it out there all spring. And Watson, too, has suffered from not processing quickly enough. And I just feel that they
don't even believe it. I don't even believe it. This is hilarious. It ain't even stage mate no more. It's hilarious. You don't believe that. Anytime it took, how long is this clip? This clip took how long to explain this? It took him all that long to talk about. No, my good sir. You said it was supposed to be over by today. Everybody told me he was the leader of the clubhouse. They needed to have it named by today. But then again, I was the one who told you that it was an artificial timetable. Remember who told you that? I said, oh, here's what they trying to do. They set a timetable and then they pressure you. Well, he said he wanted it by this. And they were like, the Browns were like, Todd Bunker was like, nope, I'm going to walk that back. I wish I had one. But let me just tell you something. The competition is so doggone good that we might as well just keep running this back in camp. It's neck and neck. I got 2 starting quarterbacks. Gee.
He's the superior athlete, and Monken wants an athlete.
That wasn't even believable. This is so unbelievable. I got to start with him laughing. I got to start and pause it with him laughing. I love when you can't keep the charade going. I love it.
The quarterback coach said the winner will declare itself pretty quickly once the pads come on.
Do you notice they're still trying to set an artificial timetable? You said it was supposed to be done before camp. Now it's, oh, well, I noticed going to the training camp, but they said it's going relatively quickly. You know how crazy you sound? What is the goal of that? Why would you even do that? If I'm going into camp, why would I even talk about that? What extra credit points do you get for naming somebody the first week of camp? It's not as if you really want to see Deshaun Watson play well. You have no incentive. And you don't want to see Deshaun Watson play. You really don't want to see Shedeur Sanders play. So this is why y'all be so confused with your takes. Because every time you go a little too far on this side, you're like, dang it, I don't want to hype him up this week. I can't stand him. Then when another dude play a little bit better, play well, throw some touchdown, can't give him too much credit because I really don't like him either. So that's why you're caught in between no man's land.
Okay.
I'm reading into that, believing they think that Watson's ability to deliver the ball under a pass rush is clearly better than Shedeur's right now.
Clearly? Who told you that? Clearly? Well, here's what you got to do. You got to juxtapose what he said based on what is he reading into. So he said, quarterback coach, here's what I'm going to do. He asked me, he said clearly, so what I'm going to do is bring the receipt of what the quarterback coach actually said.
Defining his footwork, playing with a base, learning the offense, working his butt off to really master his craft. And it's been fun to watch. He's done a really good job. He's gone like that. He's getting through progressions faster, and his feet are matching that mindset. He has been receptive to everything, and that's been it's been great. As you look at Shedeur, the off-schedule plays that he made last year, maybe his measurables in the combine and coming out of pro days and all that other stuff, maybe they're not quite what elite athletes are considered. But I'll tell you what, if you just go back to the video from last year and even his college video, you see an athlete that plays a lot faster than maybe the measurables indicate.
So juxtapose that from what he said to what you just said. I'm just listening. I'm just going by what the coach said. You said the quarterback coach said something. I wanted to see what he said about Shedeur. I wanted to see if the processing was slower or they just want an athlete, because I think he described the athlete a little bit, didn't he? At the end, didn't he? Let me juxtapose this.
Pads, come on.
Okay.
I'm reading into that, believing they think that Watson's ability to deliver the ball under a pass rush is clearly better than Shedeur's right now.
You didn't hear? I think you were at this press conference. You had to be. What did you read into it? What was there to read into?
Done a great job of defining his footwork, playing with a base, learning the offense, working his butt off to really master his craft, and it's been fun to watch.
Fun to watch, footwork, mastered his craft. Okay, well, let's take it a step further. Maybe like, oh, G. Bush, that's just a quarterback coach. That's just a quarterback coach. Hey, ain't nobody special. They gonna say that. What are they gonna say? What are they gonna say? They're trying to build him up. Well, let me just. I think let's take a step up the ladder a little bit. Does this look like you're reading into something? Let's take a look at what Andrew Berry said.
He's had an excellent spring, Anthony. I mean, the past 8 to 10 weeks, and really probably beyond that, really the past 6 months with, as a rookie player and particularly a quarterback, you learn a lot your first year, and especially if you don't start a full season, start 6, 7, or I guess you start 7 games, and you kind of go through the year. It's adjustment going to the NFL, and then you get a chance to catch your breath and say, okay, well, here are the things I need to work on. Here are the things I need to learn. And I think he did a phenomenal job this offseason. That really started in January and February, and then certainly as we got into having, real practices in May, his growth has been tremendous. So we're all very excited to see, Shedeur's, fall camp, preseason, things of that nature when we get into padded situations, live situations, less scripted. But his growth has truly been phenomenal.
So let me get this straight. Tremendous, phenomenal. That's 2 people I done heard something from. What are you reading into then? That begs the question, what about what these 2 men just said are you reading into? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. We can all read into something. Matter of fact, I would walk outside right now. Matter of fact, I might be reading into something right now. I'm reading into that I'm on Mars, and I'm in a habitat right now, and I'm a colonist, the first colonist on Mars. Boy, if you don't shut up, G. Bush, you sitting right in your office doing a show. What delusional nature are we talking about? Maybe it's just me. Am I tripping? Am I losing it? Let's continue. Can we continue? Because this is what I have been saying from Jump Street. Let's take a look at Jonathan Peeler and Nick Wilson. Now, when I said this weeks ago, people looking around. See, look, I get it. It's 1,400 in here right now because the haters is like, we going for the summer. The haters is like, we going for the summer. It's about 5 or 6. They come up, they just pull up to see what we talk about. They going for the summer. They understand. I know it's quiet on the streets today. The streets is so quiet, so peaceful for the summer. Everybody at Six Flags. Everybody doing picnics now. Everybody want to rekindle something with their wife. They got the honey-do list. You outside working on the yard. Oh, you doing the yard? Because this is what you should have always been new.
Legitimate quarterback battle have any of us seen in history, and I'm not just talking Browns, I'm talking about NFL history, where it's been a good thing that the thing was saddled up. If it was legitimate by the end of OTAs, that means one of these guys would have to screw the pooch so significantly that they might not even be deserving of making the roster by the time countdowns come. I think the idea that this should be decided in training camp, and I think too many people, and Daryl in this case is one of them, are holding on to what Todd Monken said 3 months ago.
And that's the problem, Nick.
It's a generalization the guy said. You don't have to take everything like it's a damn commandment.
They put his words from a couple months ago and thought that this was going to be the deadline, made it the deadline in their head, and then now are upset that, in fact, we've changed the deadline. Like, who cares? He's the head coach of the team. He gets to change it whenever he wants. He's got up until week 1 to make his decision. He doesn't have to do it on any sort of to make the media members feel happy timeline. I want him to take his time with this. I want him to evaluate it the way he needs to evaluate it. And you're right. It would be an absolute disaster if he looked across and was like, I know with certainty this is the guy. Shut it down. Competition's over.
This is what we was talking about. We've been talking about this for how long? Oh, you don't think so? Well, let me just show you this. When was this? I just need to know when the receipts is out. I just need to know because I want to be clear and concise about this. Huh? Look, what is this? This is before OTAs even started. Before it even, don't fall for the bait again. What? Don't tell me you knew the competition was going to go into the fall. I need receipts. You got to show me you said that. If you can't show the thumbnail, we don't want to talk about it. Is he really ahead of Shedeur Sanders? This is what my sources say. Now let me ask y'all. Let me ask you something. Who? I want to know. You name me somebody that went that far. Name me somebody before the OTA started. Before minicamp, before anybody threw no passes a month ago on the same airwaves, I said, is he really ahead of Shedeur Sanders? And everybody in the media said yes. All of them. Find me somebody prior to the OTAs where this was not the case. I need to see the screenshots. And then I came with the backup plan. Y'all better stop playing. This is what my source says. Seems like did we know a little something? Did we know what was transpiring? I kind of figured that, right? I kind of figured this months ago. So when you got to come to find out, and now you saying, oh man, yeah, really? You know what, G. Bush? What quarterback competition is really a competition if it's sewn up in shorts and T-shirts? You can't make this up. You can't make it up, people. You can't. It's right here for you. It's here for you. I knew what type of time it was. It's here for you. So let me get you this too. Let me take this down. It's okay. I understand. It's a little slow this morning. I get it. I understand. You got things to do outside. It's summertime. You got to prepare for a quarterback battle with guys that you don't like. It's a tough one. But that was just exhibit A, B, and C. We still cooking, right? Remember what I told you. Remember what I said to y'all. I told y'all this. What is the premise? What are we getting? What are we getting at here? What is the main thing that we always told you? Interviews came out last week. The interviews came out last week. Deshaun Watson spoke. Shedeur Sanders spoke. I'm going to bring this thing together, and I'm going to prove once and for all why this is all orchestrated. Please get ready, because I think that if you really dial in the second part of this podcast, you really can see the agenda, and you're going to be able to go around and look at people in a different light and be like, I can't believe they tried that. Dang, he was right. They tried that. Here's what we got. Let's talk about this. Remember what I said about the Dabo Sweeney thing? Most people were exposed with the Dabo Swinney Coach Prime thing. Because when I did the Coach Prime interview, they took and cherry-picked something that wasn't even a major point. And they tried to make it a major point by saying how crazy it was for Coach Prime to go talk to Todd Monken. And then not only did it backfire because they said he actually tried to force himself, he was invited by Coach Monken. This is how diabolical cats get. You tried to insinuate, and I had to tell you, no. He actually was invited. He just couldn't come because of X, Y, and Z. But his whole coaching staff was there. When that didn't work, they turned it into, well, why does somebody's father need to go talk? Not under the premise of being like, he's just not somebody's dad. He's the coach of a Division I football team with a quarterback who's fighting for the starting position for the Cleveland Browns with a new coach. But that wasn't good enough. But then a week later, Dabo Swinney pulls up. And again, it's all quiet on the Western Front. Y'all notice this? They be doing a lot of pushback against y'all when y'all say something. But the second that they getting exposed, they don't say nothing. It's quiet. Everybody got other things to do. So when Dabo Swinney pulled up and Coach Prime hasn't met Todd Monken yet, all of a sudden, it's okay now. It's fine. Nothing to see here. It's just a coach going to talk to his former player. Oh, so it's okay for Dabo Swinney to go, and Deshaun Watson been in the league 12 years, 10 years. What does he possibly have? Oh, because like I told you, football coaches meeting with other football coaches happens. It's kind of one of those things like, hey, I'm a business owner. I own landscaping companies. Is it crazy to say I know other landscaping companies? I know other people who are in the same industry as me? You guys be playing. But you knew that. You knew what you were doing. The whole entire thing was to cause chaos, controversy, and a bunch of extra stuff. So, with that premise, you were out it then. But now let's go to the new one. This is the one that puts you in perspective, and we're gonna go ahead and just shut this down. Let's talk about what Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson said. Hold tight.
See, I think the way how y'all look at things is different than how we look at things. We look at coming to practice every day, being the best player we can be as an individual and as a good teammate. Y'all look at it as like a competition. It's like that's not really nothing I'm just focused on. I'm focused on developing as a player, like doing everything, getting as comfortable as I can in the offense and the scheme, and playing with that confidence I had. So I think that's all I'm really looking for and trying to improve every day, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Like, I'm just trying to be a better person every day. And wherever that falls into place, it'll fall into place.
Now I'm gonna keep this right here so we can remind ourselves throughout this process of what he actually said. And out of all the things in the world, here is your response to this.
Shedeur, by the way, that they are in a competition and to embrace the competition a little bit. This kind of drove me nuts during his press conference that he was like, we're trying to bring out the best in each other, and I'm focused on what I can do to be the best quarterback every day.
Always watch. His man's over here on the right is like, dude, where did that come from? Are you really frustrated? I mean, what happened? What did he say? Watch the faces. He has to cover for him too. Watch how the cover me technique happens, right?
And no, dude, Shedeur could use a little of Baker in him. You know, Shedeur.
Look at his eyes. Really? You just pulled the Baker? Where are we going with this? You got that out of this? Continue.
Could use a little bit of, hey, It's me and Deshaun. We're going head-to-head against each other. We're teammates, but at the same time, when we're out there on that field, I want to be the starting quarterback, and so does he, and we're both going to put our best foot forward, and I want to win the job. Like, there's no reason you can't say that.
Right.
Sure it ain't. Sure it is. You know why you can't say it. Because you're the same person that said he had a backwards hat on. You're the same person who said, hey, he's not next to Dillon Gabriel. He should be next to Dillon Gabriel, helping Dillon Gabriel, cheering his teammates on. You're also the same people who said that he was talking to the kicker when he was trying to encourage him. He was trying to be in the middle of the team. He was trying to be in the mix. He should just stay out the way. Also, you said his father should not come visit. He should just be cool. You've also said that his brothers and Coach Prime should just be quiet. So now, Shedeur says it's about the team and worried about himself, and you say, I don't like that. What don't you like about it? What don't you, when he went to the projects and was helping people out, you said he should be concentrating on this playbook. So now he gives the correct answer, or the answer that you didn't like. You didn't like when he was miming. You said he fell in the draft because he was cocky. He was arrogant. He was brash. He was unprofessional. He had one of the worst pre-draft interviews of all time. But you found a way to say, I didn't like this either. But I told you what I said before. A lot of people looked at me like I was crazy because I said, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Put the jewelry on. Let it fly. Listen to the music you want. Wrist up. When I told you that, that's the reason. Because you just confirmed it. It don't matter what he gonna say. But the problem is we ain't paying no attention to it. He ain't paying no attention to it. We're just highlighting it for the folks so we know.
Right, because it's the obvious answer, right? Like,
so you mad at the obvious answer?
We're not really competing against each other. Shedeur, no Browns fan wants to hear that.
No. Nope. You don't speak for the Browns fans. Absolutely not. I got about 2,000 people over here who love the conversation. About 2,000 people who really love that answer. But let me give you why. This is why they don't mess with your boy G. Bush that much. They just don't mess with me. It's okay. But I'm a Browns fan. He spent all this money on this Browns gear. It don't even really match with nothing because I'm really a fan. Boy, this is tough today, how we cooking. This tough how we cooking over here, right? But remember what I told you. It ain't about whether they like one dude or don't like the other dude. It's the fact that when I was on UCSS the other day, I said, y'all mad and y'all going to go into this weekend upset because Deshaun Watson didn't give you nothing and Shedeur Sanders didn't give you nothing. They didn't give you nothing to bite on. They didn't leave you a midnight snack. You didn't get no midnight snack. You didn't get nothing set. Nobody put you a plate up. That's what they wanted. How many folks in here know about a plate? You be somewhere, hey, put me a plate up. I got to work today. Hey, Rosie, hey, put me a plate up. We got to cook out. I got to do some things. They didn't get that plate. See what they was expecting to do, chat. They felt like they was going to get some stuff. Oh, we got him now. Deshaun going to talk. They let Deshaun and Shedeur talk at the same time. We about to get these two fools. See, that's how little they think of you. They think that you don't even got the intellect to understand what they even doing. We about to get them. They're going to give us something. We're going to be on this for 6 weeks. 6 weeks, we about to get them. No, you're not. You're not going to get anything. Now you're going to have to actually talk about football. Oops. Now you're going to actually have to talk about what the Browns offense might look like. Oops. You might have to actually talk about some football. But you didn't get no oxygen for the fire? You didn't get that? Well, your show say you seen how he handled it. Deshaun Watson, what you got to say? hurt their feelings.
I've known the Sanders family. I've known his brother all the way back when he was at SMU. When Coach Chad Morris, he was the coach there. I used to go out there and, I used to hang out with the team, and his brother was one of the players. So, me and his family got a good relationship, and, we always just try to pull for each other. So, we both have the opportunity to go out there and put out the best product for the team, and let Monken and the organization choose who can go out there, and we're going to support each other.
What? What? Deshaun Watson had the nerve to come out here and he said he even knew who the Sanders was? Ooh, it's time to get big mad. Who do they think they are? Foiling our plans. They gave him nothing. Excuse me, didn't they run Baker out of the town? Yes, they did. Ran him smooth out of the town. They telling themselves in real time, you didn't like Baker. You didn't like him at all. You don't like Deshaun Watson, and you don't like Shedeur Sanders. It pains you to have to talk about these people. It literally does. It brings actual physical ill will to your face. Watch them. When they got to talk about these dudes, watch the uncomfortable nature and the contortion and the filibustering and just they are completely uncomfortable. And he done had the nerve to say he know Deshaun Watson, know Shedeur Sanders. They go and they just want the team to be good. Who do you think you are? I'm going to tell you. Oh, yeah, I'm cooking today. I don't care what nobody say. Y'all can be upset, mad, whatever. But y'all can be cool. Hey, listen, I don't care. We don't care nothing about that. Now they trying to start to bring back Baker. Baker ain't never coming back here. Talking about. You act like that's somebody. Listen, the Browns are the team that is toxic in relationships. And just because we broke up with a new girl, and again, you think that maybe I should go back to my old girlfriend. Your old girlfriend broke up. She don't want you. No, sweetheart. I don't want you. Maybe we can get back together. Absolutely not. No. I tried to forget we was together. Ain't nobody coming back here doing that. Come on now. This is why it's too easy. What did I tell you was happening? What did I tell you? Can I get the time on this? Let me move that. Can we move that? I need to move. Here we go. I'm going to just let it sink in. Of course, you wouldn't like what Shedeur Sanders said. Because it doesn't help you what you're trying to do. You see, I've always broken this down. Let me just listen. This is called people pull up, check in. I told you this before anybody threw a pass. Before anybody dropped back at OTAs, this is 3-4 months ago. I told you before it started. Don't you tell me that you knew too, because I need to see the thumbnail. When they tell you, I thought that, you tell them what G. Bush said. The scorekeeper said, if you don't bring the thumbnails, it didn't happen. Watson versus Sanders, another media divide and conquer tactic. They got mad because they couldn't roll with the divide and conquer because Shedeur and Deshaun didn't play their game. Y'all pick it up? Let me tell you how this works. Let me get political. Here you go. G. Bussey's getting political. Yeah, put me a plate up. We're going to get political here. I study politics. And the thing that I study is something we call splitting the vote. Bear with me. Bear with me. Matter of fact, let me get large on this one. I need the impact. I need the impact. This is called splitting the vote. So what happens is when you run an election, you got two candidates, right? You may have a Republican candidate, a Democratic candidate, and an independent candidate. In a general election, sometimes it's not about who's going to win the election by who has the most votes. It's about who can sabotage the other side by a person who knows they're not going to win getting votes from either side. So, hey, it's a win if I'm going against my candidate, another candidate, and it's Republican or Democrat, whatever side you want. Even if I don't get the vote, that's fine. I just don't want my opponent to get the vote. So let the independent come in, get 3 or 4% of the vote, and then it makes it more difficult for your opponent to win a general election because that person is essentially taking vote. It's not a vote for no for you. It's actually more of a, yeah, we were just going to pick that guy. So that can swing an entire election if you split the vote. Well, let me show you how this works in the context of what we're going to talk about here today. Get ready, boys and girls. You never thought we was going to talk polling. I've already told you that people do not want to see Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson play. What is the nightmare scenario? First nightmare scenario for people who don't like that is if Deshaun Watson plays well, the Cleveland Browns may sign him again. Absolutely not. That's part of the reason they didn't want him to be on the roster, because if he's on the roster, there's a chance he can actually be good. And if he's actually good, he can actually have a chance to be re-signed. Why do you think they asked that same question? They just asked him on the fan. They asked Andrew Berry. And Andrew Berry said, I don't preclude that from happening. That's nightmare scenario number one. Nightmare scenario number two. So we got the first one where Deshaun Watson has the job, plays 17 weeks, and plays well. That's bad. Number two, Shedeur Sanders wins the job, takes over, plays well, and is the future franchise quarterback. That's even more damning because you're looking at your long-term viability. Ooh, I said a lot. I know Coach Prime be petty. What does that do to my voice? Because if I was a person who said I didn't think Shedeur was going to be good and I doubled and tripled and quadrupled down, how do you think that's going to affect you? I think it's a little difficult, right? That's a catastrophe. And by the way, means you don't get your quarterback. So they're at a very tough time. How do you build up Deshaun Watson to a point where you feel like he's good, he's back to normal, and he could do his thing without overhyping him up so much that if Shedeur Sanders wins the job, then you validate Shedeur Sanders' skills? Because if Deshaun Watson was ready to go, more athletic, better arm, better in presence, better in pads, and Shedeur Sanders comes out and balls, then vicariously, you have to say Shedeur Sanders has the same set of skills or better if he wins the competition. Man, I get it. You got to be a thinking person to go what I'm getting. Let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you know where I'm going. Because I maybe I need to talk a little slower. I want everybody to catch what I'm putting down. But the tactic is splitting the vote. The only scenario that makes people happy is this. If I don't want Shedeur Sanders as quarterback, if I don't want Deshaun Watson as quarterback, here's what we need to do. We need to first have them split games. Why do you think they always come at you and tell you, I think it would be beneficial if Shedeur sat and watched? You're grasping at straws. Shedeur Sanders played 7 games in the NFL. Did you forget that? See, you used that, you tried to use that last year, and it almost worked because you split the difference with Dillon Gabriel. So half the offseason we were talking about, can you judge somebody in 7 games? It almost worked. If it wasn't for those pesky, mangy, meddling kids in that pooch Scooby-Doo. So now you try it again. Let's split it. If we could get Deshaun to play 7-8 weeks of mediocre football, we can eliminate him from even being signed next year because we saw what it looked like. We're going to go on and get our quarterback. 8 games for Deshaun, mid-sauce. They already understand how difficult it's going to be for somebody to lay off 4 years, come back cooking, and do it in 8 games in a short enough time period to change people's minds about the long-term viability. So the goal is to play 8 games and get up out of here. You bring Shedeur in. That means Shedeur Sanders splits some more time. Comes in the middle of the season. Again, now the middle of the season is he ain't been thrown to first-team people. He ain't been thrown to receivers. He ain't been he not getting reps. They getting Deshaun ready. Guess what? We live in Cleveland, Ohio. Guess what the weather looked like then? 20 degrees, 25 degrees on the lakefront with the wind. Second half of the schedule, outdoor games. You might be running the ball a lot. So now the games that he's getting in the second part of the season, statistically, may not even be crazy like that because he's dealing with the elements and dealing with a bunch of dudes in the. So now Shedeur get his little 7 games. And even if Shedeur plays well in those 7 games, the burden or the bar becomes, well, did he play well enough in order to not take a quarterback in 2027? You have a sample size of 7 games with one coordinator, a sample size with 7 games and another coordinator, and mixed results. And then guess what you can do? Well, we tried. We did the quarterback competition. Deshaun wasn't it. Then Shedeur came in. He did better than Deshaun, but it wasn't enough to tell. It wasn't enough to decide. It really just wasn't enough to figure out if he was going to be the long-term answer. So we just got to move forward. Of course you do. Because the goal is not to be an honest arbiter of whether somebody can be a good player or not. The goal is to get you, is a ways and ends to a mean. Because guess what? At that point, you can move on from Deshaun Watson. At that point, you can say Shedeur Sanders ain't it. And then at that point, if it turns out really bad, you can also say Andrew Berry kind of need to go too. He does great at drafting, but are you going to give Andrew Berry the say-so to pick your next franchise quarterback when he made the worst trade in history with Deshaun Watson and that didn't work out? He got Shedeur Sanders, which was a major distraction. That didn't work out. And you wasted a 3rd round pick, a top 100 pick on Dillon Gabriel. But them are the same people who advocated why Kevin Stefanski was here. Dillon Gabriel was the dude. So now they got all 3. They got all 3. They can get you up out of here, Barry. They can really get Deshaun Watson out there. Shedeur Sanders' runway is over. And now they can even start advocating at the end of the season Well, you know what? Shedeur's played 6 games. 6. I mean, isn't it about time to see what you have in Taylor Green? These dudes is so predictable. I don't even listen. Somebody clip this and let me get it. They are so predictable. That's why y'all be hurt. That's why I be quiet in the summers. Because that is the plan. That's Project 2020. Hold on. I almost went somewhere. We ain't gonna do that. So we know how this moves. We understand it. We done got it. And the Cleveland Browns have combated that. Because they have a plan. Let's talk about this plan. Man, listen, there's what, 1,800 people in here? I know it's tough today. I know it's tough today for you, brothers and sisters. Because we came today with irrefutable. I mean, we got it sold up today. We got it sold up today. Let me show you this. And this gonna lead to this. Florio says something. Mike Florio says something. And this leads to the thesis statement that people don't understand. If Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson are even, that means Shedeur Sanders is winning. I'll tell you why that makes sense when I come back. Here we go. Take a look at this.
I don't think I'm a judge. I'm not a judge. See, I think the way how y'all look at things is different than how we look at things. We look at coming to practice every day being the best player we can be as an individual and as a good teammate. Y'all look at it as like a competition. It's like that's not really nothing I'm just focused on. I'm focused on developing as a player, like doing everything, getting as comfortable as I can in the offense and the scheme, and playing with that confidence I had.
I don't know that I buy that. I think if you don't look at it as a competition, you've already lost the competition.
Right.
You notice the talking points? Always remember, the national media tells, the local media follows. Remember that. Out of all of the things that we keep talking about, now the new narrative is, I don't believe that. If you don't embrace the competition, then it's over. Y'all know they got the group chats going. Y'all know they got one of the biggest group texts in the world, right? Y'all know you got that, right? Go ahead and talk to them. I ain't gonna stop.
I'm focused on developing as a player, like doing everything, getting as comfortable as I can in the offense and the scheme, and playing with that confidence I had.
I don't know that I buy that. I think if you don't look at it as a competition, you've already lost the competition.
Right.
It is a competition. There's only one guy that's going to play. They're not going to.
Come on. You know what he's talking about. He's not going against Deshaun Watson, right? He's not going against Deshaun Watson. He's going against what he can do. Now, he brings up a point, and then I'll stop it, and we'll get to it.
That I buy that. I think if you don't look at it as a competition, you've already lost the competition.
Right.
It is a competition. There's only one guy that's going to play. They're not going to do a 2-quarterback offense in Cleveland. One guy plays. One guy wins the job. And I said yesterday that I think that Shedeur Sanders fell behind early, and my own speculation is that Todd Monken had a heart-to-heart with him about what he needs to do. And he's doing it, and he's gaining ground. And he's got a chance now. It looked early on like it was going to be Watson. I think Shedeur has a chance now. Speaking of Watson.
No, that was good, Florio. I like you. You know Mike Florio, he's a lawyer by trade. That was very good, counsel. You see what he did right there? That was a nice turn. He came out, put a little doubt on it, and then he pivoted really quickly. He said something that was key. I think Todd Monken told him what he needed to do. Now he's in contention. Well, you were half right there, Mike Florio, because I actually agree with you on that. What the Cleveland Browns have done has been evident in plain sight if you understand what people is putting down. Now, I just told you what you need to be understanding. Let me get back to another thing. Remind you what he said. The competition is between two players. They're going to start one player and play one guy. And it's going to be a winner and loser. You are half correct on that. Here's the problem. Sometimes what you want to see in a competition has to do with the growth of yourself. Let me give you an example. When I was coming up, in the summer of my redshirt freshman year, I always tell the story. A guy named Mike Fox. He had started for years. I was a high recruit coming from OU. In the summer, we got a new defensive line coach. The old defensive line coach left me. He already told people, hey, he's starting next year. It is what it is. They had accepted it. We got a new coach. Once we got that new coach, chat, his name was Eric Washington. Coach Washington went on to be a defensive coordinator for Northwestern. Coach Washington went on to be a coordinator for the Chicago Bears. Coach Washington went on to be a coordinator of the Carolina Panthers. And in that summer, as a redshirt freshman, the mandate was, if you want to start, you got to stay here. Now, back in the time when I was coming up, we didn't have what you would call jobs like that. There was no scholarship during the summer. You was down there with a regular job trying to figure it out. But you know what they wanted me to do? They wanted to see what I was talking about. They knew that I had more talent. That was evident. They understood that I was more physically gifted. But what they wanted to do is say, if we got 19 returning starters, if this guy, G. Bush, is going to supplant a guy who our locker room likes, a guy in the locker room who's a veteran, a guy in Mike Fox who is always in his gap, always doing the right things, always going to class, we want to see if you have the same level of integrity and maturity to do exactly what he's doing. So they wanted to put me in an adverse situation. They wanted to put me in adversity so that I had to find out what I was going to do, what I was going to eat, what jobs I was going to do. Can I go to, when nobody is on campus, and if you know OU in Athens, the campus is the city. Can you be down there in June, the middle of July, and have the discipline to wake up, go to voluntary workouts where they're trying to kill you in there, and do that all by yourself? Self-motivated? They knew I had the talent. But a lot of people in life eliminate themselves because they can't get out of their own way. All the time in life, people give you what we call open book tests. They tell you, hey, if you want X, you got to do Y. They want to see if you can keep up your half of the bargain. They wanted to see, hey, we're going to start you. We're going to start you if you stay down here for the summer. We're going to play you if you're going to show that you locked into what we buying, what we trying to sell. Because what they was telling me was, we got to see if you going to be a leader. And what I mean by becoming a leader is, there's always this thing that happens when some people have that gift. Some people have the skill set. And when you got the gift of leadership and the skill set to back it up, You have a very strong power. They need to know, can you be an advocate for the coaching staff? Or when things get dark, you're going to turn around and say, well, I don't know what the coach was calling. Are you going to be a person that the coach can come to and say, hey, I don't know what's going on with Jerry Jeudy. Talk to him real quick. Do you got the cachet to say, I got it done, coach? You know how you develop that? You know how you develop that growth? You know how you develop your skill set so that a multi-million-dollar corporation, billion-dollar corporation with a stadium on the line, with a new stadium on the line, guess what? We got to see if when I give you them doggone keys, how you going to move with it? I need you to treat this organization like it's your house. See, it's different when you come to somebody else's house. You don't really have the same level of care. Your shoes is on, but wait till you get your own house. They need the quarterback to operate as if it's their house. They are an extension of what the organization is. That is actually what being a franchise quarterback means. What you think is who throws the ball well. No, they're looking at it from 50,000 feet saying, guess what? What is it that you can bring that we know exactly that you are going to move, how we move, say how we say, and if you got the power, we give you the keys, you know how to exercise that power. And you want to know why it's true? Because I'll go back and show you the timeline in which the general manager has talked about it. See, Mike Florio is correct. They did give Shedeur Sanders what he needs to do. But they gave it to him that same day. He dapped him up and said, we know you tried to draft your ass. He gave him the walking papers then. He gave him what the offseason program and protocol was that day. See, you was almost onto it. But what you didn't understand that this thing has already been in the moves. They done already talked. You want to know why? See, right now. You ain't got to tell me I'm cooking. I'm cooking. I don't care if nobody in the chat say I was cooking. Matter of fact, Rosie don't got to tell me I'm cooking. I'm just listen. You want to know why? Listen to what Andrew Berry said. He didn't say he just started doing the right stuff today. He didn't say he was just doing the right stuff 2 days ago. He said, actually, let me correct myself. This is 7-8 months ago.
I don't think I'm a judge. I'm not a judge. See, I think the way how y'all look at things is different than how we look at things. We look at coming to practice every day being the best player we can be as an individual and as a good teammate.
We want to see you. We want to see you be a good teammate, Shedeur. We know that you can play, but what we want to do is we want to see you during this quarterback competition. We want to see how you navigate the relationship. We want to see how you move in the locker room. We want to see how people gravitate to you, and if you can be a person that people can look at and say, when they look at it, it's a calming stability. Keep talking, because I'm just telling you what the conversation was.
Y'all look at it as like a competition. It's like that's not really nothing I'm just focused on. I'm focused on developing as a player, like doing everything, getting as comfortable as I can in the offense and the scheme, and playing with that confidence I had.
You know what Todd Monken said? Listen, this competition ain't about you and Deshaun, because you guys play quarterback. Y'all don't play defense against one another. But what I want to see you do is I want to see you get back to that confidence. I want to see you get back to what you was doing. He probably pulled him up, showed him some Colorado tape and said, yeah, listen, don't worry about that. We want to teach you to stop, drifting and doing some things and get the ball on no timing. But under no circumstances are we going to take away from you what makes you you. And that is your ability to understand what's going on in the football game and to do it in real time, under pressure. When the shot clock is going down, we want to see you continue to do that. That's why he changed his number to 2. He said, no, forget the 12. Go back to whatever. What number you want? We want that guy. You let us deal with the small things. You let us deal with the footwork. We'll teach you I could teach you how to throw the ball on time. I could teach you what a defense is trying to do. But what I cannot teach you is that it's special nature and you being a leader. And how that starts is We want to see you doing that starting now. And we'll show you why it happened this way. Talk to him, AB.
He's had an excellent spring, Anthony. I mean, the past 8 to 10 weeks, and really probably beyond that, really the past 6 months with.
Past 6 months. They gave him the gauntlet. So let me just do the math on this. Hold on. So can somebody do some quick math on me? So Todd Monken was hired on what day? When was Monken hired? When they met him day one, they gave him the game plan and told him what was expected. First and foremost is, hey, we want you to work on the footwork. We want you to work on your progressions. We want to work on getting the ball out quick. And another thing we want to do is work on establishing leadership in the building. So leadership, they probably already knew they was going to try to trade Myles Garrett back then. It's no coincidence that Jimmy Haslam, as well as Andrew Berry, continue to talk about how he stayed all off season. Continue.
You know, as a rookie player, and particularly at quarterback, you learn a lot your first year, and especially if you don't start a full season, start 6, 7, or I guess you start 7 games, and you kind of go through the year. It's adjustment going to the NFL, and then you get a chance to catch your breath and say, okay, well, here are the things I need to work on. Here are the things I need to learn. And I think he did a phenomenal job this offseason. That really started in January and February, and then certainly as we got into having, real practices in May, his growth has been tremendous. So we're all very excited to see.
Growth tremendous. All excited to see. You know why his growth has been tremendous? Because he took what they said and actually did it. And when you guys ask him questions,
Shedeur's, fall camp, preseason, things of that nature. When we get into padded situations, live situations, less scripted, but his growth has truly been phenomenal.
See, as you can see, when you continue to do that, oh boy, let me just show y'all something. Let me show y'all something. I'm gonna get to it. Let me tell y'all, and I'm glad y'all pulled up. I want all the haters. We need the haters. See, this is why I love this show. How many is 1,900 in here? Haters, come to the front. We're going to talk a little bit. This is just for y'all. I knew y'all was going to be. Y'all got these talking points, right? Well, if you want talking points, I need you to flesh them out. Because one of the things that we do all the time, because I so eloquently pulled that out. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to tuck the haters in as well. I need them in the chat. I need it. Let's tuck the haters in. You guys come to the front of the class. I get it. I understand. You've been wrong left and right. The replacement theory has not worked for you. Can't replace the quarterback or the GM, and it's going to be another year. I know it gets on your nerves a little bit. But let's get to this. This is irrefutable. Chat. Here's your ammunition. Let's go ahead and talk about this. You thought I just had some of this to talk about today. You didn't know how I was going to really break this down. Didn't know how I was going to really get to it. Didn't know. Give me a second here. Give me a second. Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to do this. We're going to hold me down here. We're gonna be right back. I just had to do something. I had to set it up. We had to set this up. Here we go. Maybe some of y'all do I got any Game of Thrones fans out here? Let me get any Game of Thrones fans.
Do you know what the realm is?
Here we go. So this is going to give you guys something to keep it jumping. Right? Here we go. Let's set this up. For Game of Thrones fans, this is Littlefinger. He's talking to Varys. These are two what we call spies. People, master of whispers. Think of those guys as how we do. We talk about it like we are individuals from medieval jousting for the Game of Thrones. And Littlefinger tells Varys something, and it's innate to human nature, and it's about chaos. People believe that chaos is a bad thing, that chaotic things that derail everything. But Littlefinger says something that really stands out. He argues that chaos is not something that can be looked at as negatively. He looks at it as a ladder to climb. We'll come on and talk about this. Come on, tell me something, Littlefinger.
Do you know what the realm is? It's the 1,000 blades of Aegon's enemies. A story we agree to tell each other over and over till we forget that it's a lie.
But what do we have left once we abandon the lie? Chaos. A gaping pit waiting to swallow us all.
Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder. Many who try to climb it fail and never get to try again.
Chaos is a ladder. Chaos is a ladder. Chaos is a ladder. He says, you know what the game is? Understand this. He says it early.
Do you know what the realm is?
Do you know what the media is?
It's the 1,000 blades of Aegon's enemies. A story we agree to tell each other over and over till we forget that it's a lie.
But what do we have left once we abandon the lie? Chaos. A gaping pit waiting to swallow us all.
Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder.
It's a story that we agree to tell each other over and over again until we forget it's a lie. Boy, oh, let's talk. Let's talk. Let's get to it. The famous Littlefinger quote from Game of Thrones: chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder. He says this to Varys. He's explaining his philosophy of power and success. What people may think is chaos, most people see chaos as wars, political turmoil, or economic crashes, scandals, failures, or something dangerous that should be avoided. The view is as a pit that everyone falls into. What Littlefinger means is that he believes chaos creates opportunity. When normal rules and power structures break down, ambitious people can rise faster than they ever could in a stable system. Boy, while everyone else is confused, scared, or trying to restore order, someone clever can use the disorder to advance their position. In his view, stability protects the people already in power. Chaos weakens the power structure. Smart, ruthless people can exploit the confusion to climb the ladders. It sounds like, I don't know, have you turned on the TV lately? It's the same reason in 1900 people in here. Let them sit here and learn. See, instead of me putting your comments up, arguing with you, I just psychoanalyze what you're doing right now. It's the same reason you pull up to every chat with chaos. It's the same reason you pull up to every chat with the same talking point that you cut, copy, and paste. It's the same reason that you show up in every comment section and you're trying to rage bait. Because in your mind, chaos weakens power structures. Yeah, you got a voice because you can chat. But smart, ruthless people exploit confusion. The problem is, I'm not confused. Problem is, I was born into chaos. I'm like Bane. I was born into darkness. What are you talking about? I came up through chaos. Littlefinger constantly. This is what happens. Now I'm going to bring it all together. Get ready. Littlefinger constantly starts conflicts between powerful houses, spreads misinformation, and people against each other. Each crisis creates a new opportunity for him to gain land, titles, influence, and wealth. A real-world interpretation outside of the show's ruthless context, the quote is often used to mean periods of disruption create opportunities for growth. If you didn't, this is why when you sit here and say, G. Bush, what are we talking about? You talk about the same thing. See, you didn't know that the first section I was talking about, it equates and goes with the second section. It's all one thing. I just gave you why they don't want no regular conversation. You think they like what Shedeur Sanders said? You think they like Deshaun Watson? No, they would rather chaos. Because chaos generates what? There we go. Haters, haters, come on forward. Come on forward. I still need to talk to you. It's 1923. Don't say nothing to him in the chat. I'm talking to somebody's soul right now. Somebody's soul is melting right now because you can't talk. How did you know this? G. Bush, how did you know they was going to come to cook today? Yeah, it's hard to rebuttal when you can do it in real time. I'm talking to the haters right now. Please come forward. Because you can't copy and paste your way the same comment out of this one. Let's keep going. For example, a market crash creates opportunities for investors. A company restructuring creates opportunities for ambitious employees. Oh, you didn't catch what I was saying? It's a market restructure. You see, the market reset himself when they got rid of Kevin Stefanski. Why do you think everybody is trying to do their best? Why do you think everybody is getting progressively more to the left? More progressively over the top? Because it's chaos right now. Everybody is jousting and fighting and trying to see who's going to be the next person with the information. Well, it looks like you guys don't have no information because you keep being wrong. Let's keep going, haters. I hope this is the only slide. Actually, it's not. Actually, it's not. Hey, Rosie, let me know if those same people are copy and pasting. I don't think they are. I think they're listening because I'm talking to them right now specifically. No names necessary. Let's continue on. Oh, you thought I was done. See, there's difference between me and the other cats, man. I come with stuff. Get out of this one. Let's talk about this. Littlefinger's method: create, amplify conflict, keep rivalries fighting, position yourself in the middle, gain power in the disorder. This is the modern rage baiting method. Oh, you didn't think I knew what y'all was going to do today? You want to create and amplify controversy, keep an audience emotionally activated, position yourself as the voice people must be listening to, and gain views, clicks, subscribers, influence, and the revenue from the turmoil. The key insight is attention follows emotion. That's the reason they keep copy and pasting the same thing. Because every time you get emotional about it, I won. I came over there to the barbershop and I copy and paste 6 things in their chat. And I get them riled up. No, you don't. You don't. I know what you're doing. The key inside is attention follows emotion. Fear, anger, resentment, tribal loyalty, outrage keep people engaged longer than calm analysis. Sound familiar? Some media figures understand that their audience is constantly upset They keep coming back for the next update, the next enemy, the next controversy. For some media personalities, chaos isn't a pit. It's a content strategy. Some would say it's a troll strategy. The modern Littlefinger doesn't need kingdoms at war. All he needs is a keyboard and hate. He just needs audience emotionally invested in a never-ending conflict. Understand it. The war ain't going nowhere. It's never ending. This is why when you come to the barbershop, I give it to you like this. Why do you think countries are always it's a never-ending war? The U.S. versus pick a state in the Middle East. Pick one. The goal is to keep you in a never-ending conflict. The danger is that the incentive structure can shift from informing people, educating people, solving problems, to maintaining outrage, deepening divisions, creating villains, reinforcing narratives that keep audiences emotionally hooked. Not everybody in the media does this. Here you go. See, I knew you was going to say, G. Bush, you do the same thing. And no. Not everybody does this. Many journalists and commentators are genuinely try to inform. But the criticism of a rage-bait media is that some actors discover the conflict is actually profitable. So they have little incentive to reduce it. Boy, I told you, listen, maybe I didn't, some of the haters, maybe you didn't know this about yourself. I'm glad that self-reflection is a thing here. Here we go. Let me see this. I'm self-reflecting. It's okay. It's okay. This is one of them shows. This is one of them. A concise way to connect to what Littlefinger would be. Littlefinger understands that people scrambling through chaos are easier to manipulate. Some modern media figures have learned that audiences consumed by outrage are easier to monetize. In both cases, turmoil becomes a ladder for the person creating and amplifying it. The difference is that Littlefinger sought political power, while modern rage baiting creates often seek attention, influence, rating, advertising, revenue, and social media growth. The mechanism, however, is remarkably simpler. Capitalize on conflict rather than resolve it. Oh, I know. Look, it's only 1,800. It was almost 2,000 before. It looks like about 1,100 of the haters left. I at least thought I was going to be able to get. I thought I was going to be able to get through this before you guys walked out. Oh, I know. Of course you don't want to do that. You just walked out. Is he going to be done yet? Please just tell me, is he going to be done yet? Is he done yet? Somebody tell me if he's done. Now let's bring it back to this. Oh, you didn't think I had no thesis. You thought I wasn't going to compare it to something? Oh, this is thesis level. This is communications 101. Get your notes. Littlefinger's famous line in Game of Thrones, chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder. What he meant was, while most people see chaos as something dangerous, ambitious, people see it as opportunity. Chaos creates attention. Chaos creates uncertainty. Chaos creates conflict. And for some, conflict becomes the ladder they climb to gain power and influence. Through the lens I view some of the modern sports media through. Before the draft, many personalities spent months telling us Shedeur Sanders was too cocky, too arrogant, too outspoken, and that his personality was hurting his draft stock. The narrative was that he needed to be humble and more team-oriented. Now he's in Cleveland competing for a roster spot and gets asked a question about Deshaun Watson. His answer is measured, professional, and the team first. He essentially says he's focused on himself and controlling what he can control rather than worrying about someone else's situation. In other words, he gives the exact type of answers critics claim they wanted. Yet, some of the same voices now say they don't like the answer. Suddenly, he's not bold enough. Suddenly, he should be more like Baker Mayfield and make bigger declarations. That's because the truth is often less valuable than the reaction. A thoughtful answer doesn't generate outrage. A disciplined answer doesn't create controversy. A team-oriented answer does not drive engagement. Conflict does. For some media members, the goal isn't to clarify, it's emotion. The goal isn't understanding, it's engagement. The goal is not resolving a debate. It's keeping the debate alive for another segment, another clip, another tweet, another week of content. They don't want to put the fire out. They need the fire to keep burning. That's why Littlefinger quote feels relevant. For some in the media, chaos isn't a pit, it's a ladder. Every controversy, every overreaction, every manufactured conflict becomes another rung. The audience gets pulled into the emotional argument while people create and amplify turmoil, gain clicks, views, ratings, and followers and influence. Right? Huh? Right? The irony is that Shedeur finally gives the mature, calculated team response that they complain they wanted. Some still aren't satisfied because the story was never really about the answer. The story was all about chaos. I'm losing haters by the second. Where are they all at? Can you tell us something? Where are they at? I think it might be quiet over here now. Can't stand this doggone G. Bush and his stupid people. They over there. They always doing this. So mad at this guy. I'm going outside. I'm going to walk the dog. All right, that's cool. Hey, man, have a good walk. I have a good walk. Hey, by the way, let me get to the other folks in here. Can we get to this too? So those were the people that do this rage bait stuff. We got y'all together. So now we got to get to the other group of people so we can all go to break healthy and quiet. Those are the people who consistently, I love G. Bush when he used to talk about other things. I talk about other things all the time now. I talk about all kind of stuff. I just gave you examples of what I talked about the receivers. I got food blogs. I got shopping blogs. I got blogs about the quarterback. I got blogs about the offensive line. I got blogs. I do film review. I got the most content, the most diversified content on the face of the planet. And it's one person. All he does is do this to capitalize off of, I'm tired of the Shedeur talk. Okay, well, let me just show you something. Can we talk about something? Why is it nobody is tired of quarterback talk when they talk about the guys they want to talk about? Nobody is tired of the quarterback talk. They are tired of quarterback talk that they disagree with. In Cleveland, people say, draft Arch Manning, tank for the next quarterback, trade for Joe Burrow. Yes, people actually say this type of stuff. Sign the next free agent, discuss 2028 quarterbacks. Nobody says, can we stop talking quarterbacks? Because quarterbacks is the most important position in sports and the biggest topic you can leave in sports. But the moment the conversation turns to Shedeur Sanders, suddenly people say, why are we still talking about Shedeur? Ooh. They're like, man, G. Bush, I wish you wouldn't have put this all on one slide. I've been waiting for this slide. Please, hey, feel free to cut, copy, and paste this. You may need it because this instantly shuts people down. The question becomes, are people tired of the topic or are they tired of the conclusion? That's a complete different discussion, a debate topic. Right here, are the Browns fans suffering from Shedeur fatigue or Shedeur resistance? If the Browns fans were truly tired of quarterback discussion, they'd be tired of all quarterback discussions. Instead, many will spend an hour debating a rookie we'll draft in 2028, a free agent who isn't available, or a college player who hasn't even played an NFL snap. The issue isn't the quarterback talk. The issue is Shedeur Sanders' challenge. It challenges a conclusion that they've already reached. Woo! I forgot to say they'll take a guy who got suspended for gambling on his own team. They'll talk about that too. They ain't got a problem with that. Let me keep going. I know. I get it. I understand. Huh? When does a take become your identity? A lot of people spent months saying he's overrated, he's cocky, he's not an NFL starter, he deserves to slide. Now, every positive practice report, every good preseason throw, every positive coach comment becomes evidence that, hey, maybe I was kind of wrong about that. And being wrong publicly is hard. I know. So the debate isn't just about Shedeur anymore. It's about protecting your previous positions. Boy, I continue to keep going. I just continue to keep going. Let's give me my other one. I keep saying this. What am I doing? What am I doing, man? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let me get it. Hold on. Here we go. We always say this. Mm-hmm. Let me get this together. Let me upload my joint. Let me see where we at, G. Bush. We take my time. Take my time with this. I know. Here we go. It's kind of like we talk about them today. It's like people who always say they tired of politics, but they spend hours talking politics with people who agree with them. They're not tired of politics. They're tired of hearing opposing viewpoints. Likewise, some Browns fans aren't tired of quarterback discussions. They are tired of discussions that challenge what they've already decided about Shedeur Sanders. The strongest closing statement is the Browns fan base has never been anti-quarterback conversation. We are quarterback obsessed. We spent 25 years talking about quarterbacks. The real question is, if Shedeur wasn't named Shedeur Sanders and he had the same production, same draft value, arm strength talent, same practice reports, and the same opportunity, would people be telling us to stop talking about him? Or is the conversation making people uncomfortable? Because it forces them to re-examine a conclusion they've already locked themselves into. Well, that's another group of people. I'm waiting for the haters. Can we continue to get them? Because I don't see where they at. Please stand up. If this was one of you, please come to the front. Hey, I promise I'm almost done. I promise. Listen, I promise it's almost done. I just got a couple more slides. I got a couple more. Listen. At what point does Shedeur Sanders stop being a quarterback evaluation and start becoming a referendum on what people were right or wrong? For over a year, people have invested in opinions about him. He's overrated, cocky, doesn't have NFL traits, never deserved to be in the draft. The Browns shouldn't draft him. Dillon Gabriel is clearly ahead of him. The Browns need a veteran. The Browns need to draft a quarterback at 26. He'll never seriously compete with Watson. The problem is that every positive development creates cognitive dissonance. If you were wrong about one thing, that's easy to admit. If you are wrong about 5 things, that's a little bit harder. Because now you're not just changing your mind about a player, you are reevaluating an entire worldview. Sunk cost fallacy says people continue investing in something because of what they've already invested, even when the new evidence suggests that they should change course. The more public and emotional you are about Shedeur and the take, it's harder to become and harder to move away from it. Not because you're dishonest, it's because you're not admitting certain things. Because you were unwilling to say, I misread the player. I misread the market. I misread the Browns' intentions. I misread the competition. I misread the talent. So instead of updating the opinion, some people just move the goalposts. They just pick them up and say, let's go ahead and talk about something new. First it was, he won't get drafted high. Then it's, he won't make the roster. Then it's, he won't beat out Dillon Gabriel. Then it's, he won't get reps. Then it's, he won't challenge Watson. Then it's, well, I still don't see him as a starter. The standard keeps changing because the original conclusion remains unchanged. The psychology is more interesting than the football. The football conversation is actually pretty straightforward. Look at his college production, accuracy, arm talent, processing, leadership, practice reports, preseason performance, and what his actual coaches say. But we have a problem here, Houston. The psychological conversation is, how much evidence does it take before people are willing to revisit a conclusion they've already emotionally invested in? In my good way, my good people, that is the rest of the story. 1,925 people in here. Hashtag New Cleveland. I would like, if you have a rebuttal, please step to the front and we will put you on the screen and have a conversation about why you believe I was wrong in what I said. But I think you're not going to do that because unlike a lot of people, I've already well thought this out. I've already put the research in. I've already studied the time, the tapes, all the above. I'm willing to have a great discourse. I'm willing to have a conversation with everybody that's involved with a quarterback. But the problem is you're not interested in being honest arbiters. I don't talk about Shedeur Sanders more than most people do. Because if you think about it, if you're a Cleveland Browns fan and you got two options at quarterback and your quarterback is the most important position and the quarterback is up for debate and it's a battle and you got a young team, what else would you want to talk about? Should I talk about the backup strong safety? Should I talk about the backup middle linebacker? Or should I talk about what everybody in the country is talking about? The problem is you don't want me talking about it because you are diametrically opposed to what I believe. So instead of you saying, I want to debate him on the merits and the facts of whether Shedeur can play or not, you go to, he's pandering, he's emotional. You have no rebuttals. There's not one that's conscious. Instead of cut, copy, and pasting, take the time, throw it in Chat GPT, ask Google. At least they'll give you some talking points, but the same talking points that you got ain't really adding up to nothing. And unlike a lot of people, I can show you 4 or 5 years ago where I said something and it happened. I'm going to give you a little advice. You could be wrong about something. I say I'm wrong all the time. There's nothing wrong with an intelligent human being getting some different information and then being like, oh, I got some new information. I guess I'm going to have to, you know what? I thought I was going to go outside today and I was going to run. But then I got an alert on my phone that said there's a bear loose in my neighborhood. Looks like I'm not going to be going outside to run. It looked like a good day, but it's not a good day now, all of a sudden. Don't get eaten by the bear for no reason. Just go ahead and it's okay. But the notion that I talk too much about the most important position and the notion that you're tired about quarterback talk and you mention quarterbacks every week and the notion that you actually believe the stuff you're saying doesn't work. Let's get to the super chats. I know it was one of them today, fellas. It was one of them. Y'all let me know how we looking. Is the chat clear? I'm looking for it. I want to have the conversation. Somebody can send me something, man. If I'm crazy. Shedeur Sanders played 7 games, 7, and people already know he ain't it. So what happens if we draft that guy next year and he has a rough rookie year? Are they going to keep the? Absolutely not. They're not going to keep the same energy. Absolutely not. No. That's why I show you receipts. They went crazy when it was a thought of Coach Prime meeting Todd Monken. Then Dabo Swinney came and met Todd Monken and they didn't say a word. I think that I think the analogy holds true. No, because they're not honest about what they're looking for. Absolutely not. They'll give whoever they draft 7 years. They'll make every excuse for them in the book. Desmond Johnson, Cleveland media really don't want the Browns to be good. The narratives they keep be coming up would be wild. No, chaos is a ladder. They don't care. Look, my job is to get people to watch. Emotions are always going to be stronger when they're negative. William Jenkins, I can't wait to hear everyone say after Grown starts the season and leads the Browns to a 10-plus win for berth, it's going to get dangerous. You know what they're going to say, William? We always knew that Shedeur had the raw talent and the raw physical traits. It was just the maturing around the fringes and getting with Todd Monken and really, learning and really dedicating. Stop. We all knew. No. I hate that phrase. We all Brown. No, you don't speak for me. We all knew. No, you don't speak for me. You didn't know anything. You said that. But by the way, though, William, you could tell it's changing, though. Because now everybody want to be like, well, listen, I play Shedeur. Oh, I thought you say that. Start throwing these footballs around. Owl on the Prowl says NFL package purchased to watch 2, and the Browns from NYC came for 2 and stayed for G. Bush and the Browns # New Cleveland. See, I actually be in a bad mood when the Browns lose because I can't just roll over and watch my team. I don't know how. Ain't nobody. Come on, bro. Let's stop pretending. If your team not the Browns, if your team is not, you're not a Browns fan, but you cover them, you think that you're distraught when the Browns lose? No. You just turn the TV off, or get that out of the way, and go watch your team. Get out of here. We not the same. JB Smooth, G. Bush, they really gave Deshaun Watson 13 touchdowns. Man, they talking about majority of the touchdowns was during 2-minute offense. Boy, bro, listen, the way they be moving, man, boy, listen, the tracker game is diabolical. Desmond Johnson says, how gross are any media people know what these guys are processing? Like, they know how to play the position. They don't know ish about football. I hate buzzwords. I hate them. Listen, I hate buzzwords. I hate cliches and catchphrases. I would rather be honest with you. I'd rather be an electrician. It ain't no connoisseur to know about electricity. Either you know how to fix this electric or you died because you got electrocuted. I kind of like the all or nothing type thing. Like I don't like the fact that you almost a doctor. If you make an incision 2 inches or a millimeter over to the left, somebody's either paralyzed or died. There's no such thing as kind of know what you did. No. There's no kind of know if I'm a rocket engineer. One of your seals, one of the valve seals leaked and fluid ignited and everybody was out of here. No, I kind of like somebody who really is like, no, I don't kind of know. Nah, bro. We just say processing, footwork, reading deep. What does that mean? What is reading deep? What are you talking about, man? Don't you tell me about reading defenses. I'm going to pull up a coverage and you tell me what they in. Y'all want to do it? No, you're not going to do that. Of course you're not. Mick Purnell, G. Bush cooking today. Good job, Chef Bush. I ain't cooking. I'm just replaying what y'all said. No disrespect. I ain't put no dirt on your name. I ain't call you out your name. I ain't do nothing. All I said is, this is what you said, but this is what the coach said. I don't understand how you can get from what the coach said, what I just showed, to where you said this. And if people be having, I don't get it. I mean, it's very easy. Tony has made stuff up. At this point, did Washington show up during OTAs and minicamps in shorts and T-shirts? No. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? How do you feel like what do you mean he's better under pressure with the pad? How do you know? You know how you can tell? By putting pads on them and letting them see it. GG Free, G Bush, you made your game or post your Sunday schedule. I would love the Barbershop live game discussions or post game. What you talking about? What are you talking about? Let me just get to this. This is how I'm moving. I'm putting it, this is what we're doing. The Barbershop for the season will have a pregame show. Maybe 45 minutes to an hour before the game. We will then transition to a live in-game watch party. The Barbershop will have a live in-game watch party. Live. Then I will have UCSS post-game show. Then I will have the Barbershop post-game show. So, we cooking. Book it. Put it down. Put it down. We'll be watching the game. By the way, if you're listening right now, you got some time left. But if you want to become a member, it's the best time to do it during the football season. Because unlike a lot of people, one of the best things that I do is we come over and we're going to break all that film down. That's why a lot of the people, you only talk about this. No, you don't understand. See, I was actually putting that work in. Those are available right now. And by the way, if you sign up now, you can have all of our catalog for members only content is available to you now. So you can go back actually and watch game by game of what me and Tyvis had to break down after each game. That's for Dillon Gabriel. That's for Shedeur Sanders all the way up to the last game. All those videos are up there on our members only chat, on our members only page on YouTube. So if you want to just get in and see what it's about, you say, well, I don't know if I want to do this membership thing. You can go check it out. Get a membership for a month. Hey, listen, it's month to month. No obligation. If you want to, I don't care if money tight or you can't do it. Oh, that's fine. It's month to month. No obligation. You ain't signed no contract. You just keep it pushing. But I'm telling you, that's going to be a great opportunity because that is the thing that really I like to do because it's educating. Ain't nobody going to sit up here and tell me so-and-so can't throw the ball or so-and-so can't do this. And so, no. We all set all 22 up. And we go through that. So that's a big option for those people who just pulling up to the channel. Sean Richardson, 2 is locked in. Team is telling chemistry-wise. Energy is high. The locker room. #New Cleveland. Everybody locked in. Everybody. I cannot believe we wasted all this good time talking about whether or not they was going to name a quarterback by the end of the camp. Come on, man. By the end of the period where, come on, guys. Come on. Shout out to the New Cleveland. Renee, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you. J Mac, after Shedeur 2025 game, 14 starts, according to the over the cap valuation of Shedeur, he was worth $47.8 million while only making $1.1 million. I think he said, Coach Prime said he's gonna make like $17 million, right? 17 just off the jerseys. Neil Gray Todd has an organization structure in place for his coaching and player development. Last year was horrendous, chaotic, disorganized under Coach Stefanski. By the way, if we watching, I've never seen so many deep passes in my life from both quarterbacks. By the way, I will be at camp. By the way, G. Bush will be at training camp. What you talking about? See, they don't be knowing. Y'all don't be knowing. I'm going to be right on out there. Right on the field, looking around like this, close. Yeah, I'm going to be out there. Come on now. I might bring a barbershop flag. And you know how we do. We're going to pull up after we do that. We're going to come right on over here and be like, yo, let me tell you what I saw at practice today. Live. Come on, man. See, they don't be knowing, bro. They don't be knowing. Eric, ATL, I'm watching G. Bush in the barbershop with the Kool-Aid Mafia, getting ready for Juneteenth this week. Juneteenth, shout out to Tegna, too. Shout out for I'm gonna shout out to Tegna WKYC for acknowledging that holiday. They've been celebrating Juneteenth since I've been there, and it ain't just because I'm there. But I give them shout out to Tegna for doing that because it's a lot of people who don't. I'm showing that love. Thanks for representing us and as a stand-up guy, G. Bush. We appreciate you as always. Shout out to the ATL too. Sean Richardson says 1.5 in the chat. Hit that like button. Listen. I know that was earlier. Listen, I could get it, Sean. I get it. That last little 30 minutes of the show really it hurt the haters a little bit. It hurt the haters. You gotta excuse them. Excuse me. Didn't they run Baker out of town? Sure did. Give us some ammunition. Beautifully blessed. They want so badly for the Shedeur to be that arrogant a-hole, spoiled brat who only got here because of his father they portrayed him to be. We knew better. Ain't it funny? Ain't it funny how it goes? Pelver Jackson, he did embrace competition. Quote, be great or get out of the way. He wasn't just talking about himself. Well, listen, thank you for bringing that up, Mr. Jackson. Because what we got to do is we got to be diligent in telling people and showing people what somebody said. Because if you don't take it up, they'll create the empty space with something.
It's like
else.
something familiar I was used to.
What?
It seems like a guy that I'm real familiar with, so I enjoy it. You know, I definitely.
I think when somebody says, "Is these synonyms?" I think a synonym for enjoy is embrace, right? I'm not a master of the English language, but I believe the word embrace would be a synonym to enjoy. Nobody embraces something that they don't enjoy. Continue, Shedeur.
Definitely, like his expectations he has for us, and it gives you no choice but to be great or to get out the way. You know, I think it's just that simple.
You guys are really bad at twisting words. That's a great thing about the internet now. Because think about how diabolical this used to be. At one point in time, there was no independent media. When people did articles and wrote articles, all you had was what the writer said. There was no video. There was no context. There was no rebuttal. There was no comment section. There was nothing. It was what somebody wrote, and it became law. How many people got railroaded by unqualified people that was hating? Now, if you get upset, there's another thing you're telling yourself. I'm part of the media. If I say some people in the media is unqualified haters, why don't I take offense to that? If I'm part of the media and you're part of the media and you get mad when people say stuff about the media, why? I don't represent all media members, and some people are unqualified and they do be doing extra. I'm just letting y'all know. Camaro Kitchen. Some of the media wants to be a character in the story so bad. They just stay as the outsider and report what you see, which is why they see is based on personal biases and feelings. I've always said it. We're not the story. We're just not. We ain't. King Hairston speaks. G. Monk clearly said that if they were horrible, he would say it. Instead, they go with the negative instead of saying this is a great thing. He said he had 2 starting caliber quarterbacks. Like, yeah. I guess I gave you the psychology of it. Anthony Barnes, if Tua is so accurate and can master the layups and control checkdowns and balances, he will be the starter day one. The pads will show how he's really moving. The problem I had was the fact that people really thought that they can just anoint somebody with no pads on. That's counter to every football logic in the world. Like, come on, right? Well, like, I was embarrassed that I even had to come on and say, what are you talking about? Ain't nobody about to do that. Sapper Daddy says they won't like Arch either. They was never a quarterback here. The whole fan base got behind ever. We only like other people's quarterback. We didn't like Tim Couch. Then we didn't like Kelly Holcomb. We had Johnny Manziel, and he was doing crazy stuff. Didn't like him. But the dude that was here, that was a hometown kid from St. Ignatius, they didn't like Brian Hoyer either at the same time. Let me find out that my analogy is about the chaos ladder has always been true in Cleveland. Let me find out. I commend Watson on him as him. He gave the Cleveland media nothing to chew on this weekend. Nothing. He didn't give him nothing. He said, I'll catch y'all later, bro. I'm an introvert now, too. Catch y'all later. You see what he said? Are you going to have a training camp? Are you going to, no, I think he's trying to start stuff. We're going to work out as a team. That is what it is. You tried it. Zion Flowers. Shedeur was on pace to win 7 games with his offensive line hurt, wide receivers trash, running back 1, tight end got hurt. But somehow they only got 3 to 5 wins with a better team. Or they only get 3 to 5. Listen, offensive line is better. The receiving core, Isaiah Bond looked better. We ain't even seen. We haven't. Quinshon Judkins look better. As a matter of fact, I just keep, listen, this is why we do a lot over here. We do the most over here. Talk about these wide receivers, Shedeur.
Spoke before about, it's not about, how do you feel the team building is going here as we get ready to break for a month before training camp?
I think it's real amazing. I think the team, we got togetherness for sure. And we're gonna keep that going in the off season. We're all gonna get together at some point and be able to get work in, you know, and build those relationships even more. So I'm excited for that.
What do you think of the new rookie class, specifically the 2 guys you're throwing to?
They're amazing. Those guys are really amazing. I think that seeing what they could do in their first year, first couple month maybe, is really, really exciting. I'm not gonna say I'm surprised because, like, that's what they did in college. Like, I have that same expectation for them to carry it over, but I'm just happy they're able to get comfortable here in a new environment.
How you hate on the move like that? How you, I don't get it, bro. We got to start examining what's wrong with folks, bro. How you hate on a person like that, bro? You got to ask yourself a question. What's wrong with me? What that dude is saying and the energy level about embracing his teammates and his young players is getting under your skin. What type of, what happened to you? Are you okay? Did somebody hurt you? These dudes is crazy, bro. I don't get it. Somebody let me know, chat. Like, what about that makes you upset? I'm gonna have to do some soul searching, bro. Spicy Chick says, good morning, G-Bush Rosie Barbershop fam. Special shout out to my fellow June Bugs Gemini, waiting patiently in my Kool-Aid Mafia, hopefully membership birthday t-shirt. Hey, we gonna get you. Spicy Chick, I get notifications when they sent out all the time. That thing should be there in a couple of days. It might already be on the way. But I will tell you, if you don't get it in, I would say 2 days, fifthdimensionmedia1@gmail.com. fifthdimensionmedia1@gmail.com. Make sure we got that sent. We get them out. T Storm, typo, I commend Watson on his press conference. Okay. Yeah, that's what's up. Cleveland Browns, Raw Charles T. I don't understand why the media isn't pushing best case. If that Shedeur is good in the future, that's the best for the team. A real fan wouldn't want that, would not want that, not a quarterback at 20. That's the thing. You hit on something. I was going to angle that, but I gave him a little grace. Here's the problem. Everybody that says they're a Browns fan is not a Browns fan. Just because everybody got a Browns jersey on don't mean that they're a Browns fan. Some people is a Browns fan up to a certain extent. If they play the people that they want them to play, draft the people they want to draft, make the moves that they want to make, they cool with it. You step outside of that square and that little small box that they got you in, all of a sudden it's a problem. And a lot of times what people is people actually nowadays don't have the time, energy, and bandwidth to actually do any research for themselves. It's why so many people fall for conspiracy theories now. It's why so many people simply just take for what they are. And the algorithms are damaging now. If you get in an algorithm and you then slide into conspiracy theories, you actually start to think that that's the real world, because your algorithm, what you like, what you consistently watch, becomes reality, because the algorithm will only show you Instagram posts of that. It will only show you Facebook posts. It will only show captions that come up on your timeline. That is an algorithm. And then you wonder why you get so many people who you look and say, what universe are you in? Because they are in a different universe. The algorithm is pushing everything that they watch. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So a lot of Browns fans become radicalized. And just like we talked about earlier, you want a quarterback, but after you become radicalized, you don't like no quarterback you get. It'll never be good enough. King Hairston speaks. Monk of the coaches are looking at being great this year. Is the propaganda that addictive that the media rather look foolish? Well, listen, King Hairston, there's literally no incentive in being correct. There's no incentive in being right. Because the way the news cycle works is I could say something, put it to you like this. I care about integrity. I care about the Browns winning. I care about people over numbers. I care about being watchful of the platform that I have and watchful over what I do and how I move. There are all sorts of ideas that I had, right? I was sitting there thinking, and I'll give you just an insight because I'm honest. I was watching, I was looking at the soap operas, right? And on the internet, they got all these AI videos where and I remember coming up last year, or coming up when I was younger, they used to have these things on NFL Films where they would do like these make-believe matchups. They would say the 92 Cowboys versus the 89 49ers. And they would do this whole storyline where it would be like a created game that never happened. And I said, you know what would be crazy? I told Rosie, I got to say, yo, Rosie, I woke up in the morning, I said, man, I had an idea. What if we did a preview for the Browns season? But what we do is we just come up with an AI storyline. And it's like you come up with a storyline and it's like you narrate this tale from the Browns starting the first preseason game, and then you talk about the ins and the outs, the up and the down. And at the end, you give a win-loss record, and they may end up in the playoffs. And then I just thought about it and was like, I can't do that. It's a slippery slope. Because what if you make the narrative too good? What if the soap opera is really addictive? It's the reason why people watch soap operas is because it's sensationalized. It releases a dopamine because you're getting a story before it even happens. But what happens if the storyline goes viral and the storyline is made up and it's not real? Then I'm delivering, I'm doing worse. I'm doing more damage than people that sit up here and because now it's even entertaining. So when that entertainment starts imitating life, and Deshaun Watson throws 4 picks, or Shedeur Sanders throws a 2 picks to cost the game, or even if the Browns go to the playoffs, it didn't really happen. It's fictional. And you're setting up that fiction means more than fact. So I said, oh, I can't do that. And it's funny because God will tell you. He'll be like, nope. I'm like, oh, okay. He'd be talking clear. Nope. You ain't doing that. You're doing too much. Sit down. I'm just saying. You got a responsibility. Even if it might have been cool, certain things you can't get off. Cleveland Browns raw Charles T. It was the same with Baker. Media didn't want him. Facts. Brody's bottom line. G. Bush, you haven't. You've been. Have you been listening to my podcast? They don't like 2 or 4. I heard that. Brody's bottom line. Make sure you go out there. Hey, listen. Make sure you out there subscribe to the channel. Yeah, they're not really up for it, both of them. Miss Melanated. I know why the Cleveland media is lying schemers. Why? Because their brains have been chipped with piss poor lying chip by aliens. The aliens, right? That's funny. The aliens that got us, man. Cleveland Browns raw charge sees. Has it been brought up on UCSS or anywhere? The Mannings will be more dropping, more control. They will not let the media talk like this to Arch. No way will they let him be a Brown if they not control press. If they can't control the press. Here's the thing. People want, this is why you buy into narratives and storylines. The storyline is most people, when we talk about these college quarterbacks, I learned it was all a charade when they sat there and was like, well, did you see Arch Manning play? No. Let me give you a dirty secret. Most sportscasters, most people in the media pay no attention to college football. None. Most people don't watch consistent football games of any other team except for their alma mater and possibly Ohio State, wherever they're look at. They're not consuming those games. They don't know what happened with Tennessee and Mississippi State. They're not watching Missouri and Kentucky. They're not watching Oklahoma State and Baylor. They're not watching these games. They're on vacation, doing things with their family in the summer. When football season comes, they're too busy with fantasy football and watching their team. They're not watching college football games. So when people tell you Arch Manning is great, he has potential, but most people don't even know what he plays like. They know his name, they know his uncles, and that's enough. Because they were told that this is what it's supposed to be. Just the same way they were told Shedeur Sanders isn't good. Doesn't matter that he throws for 360 yards. Doesn't matter that he won his first game on the road, the first time since the 90s. Does not matter he threw for more yards than every single person in that rookie class. Does not matter that he outplayed Cam Ward, grossly outplayed Cam Ward. That don't matter. It's what somebody told you. And that's the honest to goodness truth. G. Bush, I didn't know it was so many quarterback experts on that work at night. Hey, man, everybody's an armchair quarterback. Let me just tell you this. I'm not a quarterback. Actually, I got to put in overtime work to even understand quarterback game. That's why I lean on people. That's why I go and ask Bernie Kosar what he thinks. And then he tells him Oh, I think Shedeur Sanders is good. But then they ignore it. How is it that if I got an opinion, I got to go to guys and see? I talked to Sean King about it. I talked to Bernie about it. I talked to a lot of quarterbacks. I talk to them regularly, like text all the time. Like, I ain't saying just today. I mean, all the time. So I take it with a grain of salt, because I'm like, okay, whatever you say, dog. Sandra speaks. Shedeur's demeanor not only exhibits professionalism, confidence in the work put in, it also is the piece that comes with totally trusting God. That's what they don't get. Right? Like, that's the thing. That you talking about the piece that can't be explained. Unexplicable. I seen Coach Brown the other day on Well Off Media. He like, man, I already told you he dialed in. He locked in. He locked in. I know what he's doing. Bro, I'm telling you, listen, the thesis of this conversation is this was supposed to be over. This competition was supposed to be over by now. Nothing here to see. But Shedeur, the last 2 days of practice, really put himself in contention. And you know how I feel about it. If it's close, the young dude gonna win. He actually had the best days of camp the last 2 days. Throws, progression. I'm not just saying from what I'm looking at. I'm showing you what the coaches said. Alexander Gallant-Monken can't be a 50-50 quarterback. Pick one for the season and let's go. The team will support the starter in all positions, especially at quarterback. I always tell you like this, Alexander Gallant. I'll tell you like this. It ain't even really a 50-50 proposition. He's making sure you dot your T's and cross your I's. As he said earlier, everybody gonna take the test. And I've been through competitions. Kind of explained it earlier. We want to see what you can do. See, people don't understand. Them choosing a quarterback is not something that happens lightly. Because the goal of this situation is, if Shedeur wins the job, they want to make sure when he is put in the game, he's not coming out. Because they also are well aware of the worst thing that can happen is splitting games 8-8. The organization needs to, if you're going to give a young quarterback an opportunity, he needs to either sink or swim with that opportunity. There ain't no guardrails. There is no, hey, put him in 3 games, take him out 2 games, put him back in. No. How do you figure out if a guy got it? He is going to be the leader in the face of the organization. That's what a franchise quarterback means. Also, you got to understand, it's not about what you do today. Because if they make the decision today that they're going to move forward with him tomorrow, they got to understand how much money is involved in that. One of the things that we don't understand is the Cleveland Browns have never given no long-term deal to a quarterback that they drafted. They took Deshaun Watson on a trade and had to give him the money because he wasn't going to come here. But they didn't. They ain't never done that. They didn't give Baker no extension. They didn't extend Brandon Whedon. They didn't extend Brady Quinn. They didn't extend Johnny Manziel. These are all first-round quarterbacks. So now, with the scale and the money, you're going to have to pay this dude like one of the highest paid players if you sign him. And by the way, chat, Shedeur Sanders is only under contract for 4 years, not 5, because he was not a first-round pick. You don't get a 5th-year option. He's already been in the league 1 year. He's going to be here. If he plays this year, that's 2. So now you got to have 2 more years. Actually, it's 1 because nobody lets you get down to your last year. So now he only got 1 more year for you to decide whether you're going to give him $300, $400, $500 million. So, yeah, you got to think about it long and hard. Heron says the Cleveland media was butthurt when Deshaun had a good relationship with the Sanders when Bucky played at SMU. I'd be trying to tell you, what? I mean, Deshaun Watson worked with Shedeur Sanders last year. Andrew Berry had him working with him. The relationship was so damaged with Kevin Stefanski, he said, Deshaun, you when he come out the sidelines, you go over there and talk to him. Andrew Berry, please come on a barbershop. Jeffrey Carson, man, we appreciate you. AB, you're always welcome. You're always welcome. Let me ask y'all a question. Put it in the chat. I am going to do an interview with one of these people. I just ain't figured it out. It's all in God's timing. It'll happen. Which interview would you like to see more? AB or Todd Monken? Which interview you want to see more? Andrew Berry or Todd Monken? Let us know in the chat. Big Lee, 589. If Monken helped improve Lamar, why can't he with the other quarterbacks, including Shedeur, stop dwelling on what Kevin didn't do? Well, you can see that right now. You actually see what he's doing now. Shedeur has progressed today in a very short period of time. So here's what we got to ask. We got to start asking this. If Monken helped improve Lamar, why can't he with another quarterback, including Shedeur? Why is it that we still have this question? Why is this when we have this question when Todd Monken and the coaching staff just told you that he's progressed? Like they told you. Why don't you believe it?
He's done a great job of defining his footwork, playing with a base, learning the offense, working his butt off to really master his craft, and it's been fun to watch. He's done a really good job. He's gone like that. He's getting through progressions faster, and his feet are matching that mindset. He has been receptive to everything, and that's been it's been great. As you look at Shedeur, the off-schedule plays that he made last year, maybe his measurables in the combine and coming out of pro days and all that other stuff, maybe they're not quite what elite athletes are considered. But I'll tell you what, if you just go back to the video from last year and even his college video, you see an athlete that plays a lot faster than maybe the measurables indicate.
I don't understand. This is the trick that we keep fighting against. There's a premise that you keep posing the argument where he's not developing, he's not good. But every single time you put a camera in front of these people's faces, they tell you the exact opposite. So where's the chasm coming between what you're saying that doesn't match up with the people that are coaching him? Make it make sense. By October, Jason gonna be talking about the quarterback coming out in 28. The quarterback in 28. The goal is to get the quarterback by the time the dome in 29. Really. Renee L. Young, absolute genius analogy. G, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Genius is way too high. I like to say thought-provoking. Dewan says, that boy good. Teach. This is why I mess with the barbershop. We got to teach people and show them the truth. National media is about that. Need to keep people sleep to fed the money machine. Nah, we ain't. And by the way, we never played into that. You think you can hijack the word woke? You try to hijack it, it means something worse. Again, no. You can't even define it. I hate it when people try to get you lucky. Like like being aware is a bad thing. This when being asleep is a good thing. Sleep at the wheel, sleep walking through life, sleep taking all of that. Just boy. Lord knows I can't wait for the day Lyman and his crew have to bend the knee and kiss the ring. Shedeur, failure is not an option. Joe Station, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. Sassy Southern Creations. Communication and education is the key. You cannot get folks and then put them. No, I get it. Your talking points are immune here. We have diplomatic immunity to your talking points. We do. That's what we do preferably. Block, 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 block. Yeah, we're not going to block you. You're just going to have to sit front row and center, and then you refute what I said. Oh, you don't got nothing? Of course you wouldn't, because you're not using your brain. You're not giving the God-given ability he gave you to be a thinking human. Just think sometimes. Just think a little bit. Come on now. You're not going to do it. You can't do that. Secret Menu Gamer. Got to give it up for a well-delivered and compelling argument. Keep cooking, G. Bush. Rosie said last night, 2:00. What you talk about tomorrow, babe? I said, I don't know. I don't know. I'll figure something out. And like always, just came to me. G. Bush hit him with the holy water. Haters gonna be gone. Hey, listen. It got quiet. I see that nobody had to tell nobody to block nobody no more. Get him out of here. Nah. I knew they was coming today because it was quiet. On the all-Western front. I thought I was supposed to have a quarterback. We thought we was going to have a quarterback today, and it didn't need him. Bro, you need a fire extinguisher because you be spitting flames. We had to get them together, though. The way they tried that this week was disgraceful. You thought you was going to do all of that stuff. The free agency quarterback. Then you talked about drafting quarterbacks. Then it was the quarterback battle is over day one before it even began. Come on, man. And now you just want to be quiet. On UCSS G. Bush, can you ask why the quarterback tracker shows Dillon Gabriel as a third string getting reps? Because they only try to act like that was crazy last year. You know what's crazy? Jazz. They made it seem like we was crazy for even bringing up the fact that they said Dillon Gabriel was good. Now they run like the plague when you talk about Dillon Gabriel. They won't even entertain the conversation. Nobody said that. Nope, never happened. Nobody ever said that. It's disingenuous. Nobody ever said that. Oh, here's you. Who said that? You know me. Oh, you think I'm afraid? You said it. It's on camera. You see, they don't do that no more. They don't be asking me who said it, G? You really want to know that? G, thanks for helping me understand how we got this. Miss Bell, you crazy. I just give you, you know what I'm saying? I'm giving you, man, you got my allergies acting up, Miss Bell. You crazy. I just giving you what's going on. What's going on today, man? I don't know. I don't know who voted for what. I just do my thing. I'm just over here trying to do a show. Alexander Gallant has that new Cleveland, not falling for the okie dokie rage bait. We ain't doing it. We're not doing it. Don Walk 5179. Thank you so much for the super chat. TG Messi bait to off-season practice. Also, Wednesday night on the Final Cut, you said you got a call right before, and would you give your thoughts today? Well, I received a phone call, and that phone call denoted that as good as Shedeur Sanders has looked in practice, that what they wanted Shedeur to work on this offseason, he has checked all the boxes. And they are even more excited about his progress behind closed doors than what you see on the field. Meaning that if you take a look into my comments and talk about it, I said, if you're Deshaun Watson, if my analogy is a fight. You wanted, back in the day, Mike Tyson wanted to knock you out in 3 rounds. But what Buster Douglas and Vander Holyfield figured out is that if you can last past 4-5 rounds with Mike, you got a shot. Because you can wear him down. You can keep him off at distance. He got shorter arms. You can jab, use your jab, move around, move your head. And if you go the distance, you got a better chance. The longer and longer this process goes, the better and better chance you have of winning that fight if it goes to a decision. It's the same thing with Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson has wow ability when he throws the football because he looks the part, the ball comes off his hands, it's pretty, he throws a great deep ball, and you saw it in the practices earlier this offseason. He was out there slinging the ball. The athleticism just shows to you. But the thing is, Deshaun Watson should have knocked Shedeur Sanders out because he was going to always start a little bit ahead. And if he could have really came out and said, oh, Shedeur is falling on his face, Deshaun Watson is cooking, and he's healthy, we starting him. The problem was Deshaun Watson couldn't knock him out because the thing that Shedeur Sanders was doing in the offseason has now sped up his acceleration. And that's the mental stuff. That's reading what they want to do, understanding the playbook, working on his timing, working on getting the ball out quicker. All those things are things that people may not have necessarily thought prior to him being here he was able to do. But once those things matched up, the thing that Shedeur has, and I'm going to tell you like this, be honest with you, Shedeur is a much more accurate passer than Deshaun Watson. He just is. If you ask who throws a better tight spirals, Deshaun Watson. Who looks better, who has a little better athleticism, I would say Deshaun Watson. But it's closer than what people think. Because like we always say, Shedeur is not a 40-yard champion. But when the game comes around, go watch the Buffalo Bills game when they're running read options to get first downs. Watch his Houdini acts. Watch his rushing touchdowns. He led the team in rushing multiple games down the backstretch. So what I'm saying to is I basically on Wednesday during the final cut, it's a new ball game. This quarterback competition is neck and neck. And if it's neck and neck and it's a decision to be made, who do you think they're going to play? That's what the conversation I had. And turned out to be kind of true. That's why it's quiet on Saturday. I'm just telling you. May says, haters don't know. We're in the age of chaos. His people are prepared for the heat. Matthew 10:34. Think not I come to send peace on earth. I come to send, not to send peace, but a sword. Keep cooking, G. Bush, wrist up. Mace, we appreciate you. Be ready to go. Be ready to go. RDM says, G. Bush, can you discuss some of the things you and Coach Prime talked about offline? That's okay to talk about, of course. Yeah, give me a second. Matter of fact, yeah, we can do that. I'll give you a little story time. Hold up. Give me 2 seconds. Hey, can you give me some nose sprays? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, we working, man. We doing a lot of stuff. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, goodness. Here we go. It's okay. We ain't see it. It's all right. Whew. Yeah, my allergies is killing me. I can tell us where we at, man. Bush, can you discuss some of the things Coach Prime talked about offline? That's okay to talk about, of course. Yeah, like I think one of the things that I spoke to Coach Prime, you know, and he told me, and the thing that I came off with was he just, like, you know how you could meet somebody and you could think that maybe you don't know how you're going to take it and you don't know what the perception of somebody is going to be. Coach Prime is who he is in real life. Coach Prime is who he is in real life. Like, he's a dude who talks, and then you talking to him for 20 minutes, you got to remind yourself, it's Coach Prime, because he just real. He down to earth. You see what I'm saying? Like, he is who he is. And the thing that he talked about, and I took, and I loved, was he said, look, and this is verifiable on Well Off Media, Bucky has the same conversation. Bucky has the same conversation. He said, you know, the thought process of my kids and my children that I'm raising is somehow entitled. He said, no, bro, they work for everything. And then Bucky came back, and this is how I know, because I watch Well Off Media, and Bucky come back and say, you know what? When we talking about certain things, we talking about, you know, we get into money and you know, I put stuff in Well Off Media, and you know, sometimes that bank account is negative. Sometimes that bank account negative. He said, but my dad raised me to be a man, though. Like, even if I went to him and said, look, I need this or this, that, and the third, it's like, okay, figure that out. Well, what you gonna do about that? You ain't got no bread. What you gonna do about that? And more than anything, that just came through, because when he talked about Shedeur, the thing that really hit difficult was he didn't have nothing bad to say about Deshaun Watson. Matter of fact, he had a bunch of good stuff to talk about Deshaun Watson. And how he was excited to see both of them guys go out there and play. And I said, dang, that says something about you, that you're not looking forward. You don't got to tear one person down to build up another. He said, but I know how Shedeur is. Shedeur ready to go. But what Shedeur said about team and different things like that is confirmed because of how Coach Prime talked about it. And it's off the record. He didn't have to say nothing like that, but he talked about how he wanted Deshaun Watson to get an opportunity, how he liked Deshaun Watson as a person, and I said, wow. To me, that was a thing, bro. That was one of the takeaways with that, man. So that's one of those things, man. Lindsay Away says, if Shedeur leads the Browns to a 10-7 year, watch them say, if Coach Monk can do it, that will, with Shedeur, just imagine what you could do with Arch Manning. Facts. Lindsay Away, you want it. 10-7. But listen, though, if you mortgage all the picks and we get Arch, we could be 14-3. Boy. TL Care, appreciate the truth spoken plainly for all to hear. Thank you so much. I don't know what truth it was, but I was speaking something that you found truthful. G. Bush, Coach Monk has said he's always looked at how players interact with the quarterback, so far the players like Shedeur, working with Shedeur. You know, I always, this is why y'all pull up. I always give y'all something, right? I give y'all something.
From when I got to the Browns during that season all the way to now, like, you can see the growth big time. And the way he carries himself, the way he practices, you can tell, like, even more than the pro that he was last year. He's getting better, and he's getting more comfortable in the offense and getting make plays. It's been great, man. They've been playing their butts off. You can tell how they're getting comfortable in the offense and adding their little touches to it. There's two different quarterbacks, but it's been fun to see. You can tell like Deshaun's been a great leader. And Shedeur is soaking up all the knowledge he can from Deshaun. So they're both helping each other out. And I believe iron sharpens iron. So it's been great.
As you can see, we just keep bringing up examples. Hey, think about it. It's readily, Patrick Wood, it's readily available if you just want to look for it. I ain't got to say it. I let them say it. Don Walt, 5179. We appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. My guy, David Walker, Grossy, MK, Lyman, are showing their true colors towards ABS. Keep the chaos. 2 can win 11 games, and they'll move the goalposts. Yeah, them goalposts to get them moving. But also, it's hard to move them goalposts because that momentum will be going. I mean, that momentum will be cooking. Now the thing is, the Browns don't even got to really be. All they got to do is be competitive and fun to watch. All they got to do. Hey, Mr. VP85, people in the 330, love you, bro. I love y'all too, man. Shout out to the 330, you know what, the 234, the 440, the 216, Northeast Ohio. What's good? Rock with y'all. Black Spider-Man, thank you so much for becoming a member. We welcome you to the family. Black Angus, G. Bush, Bond in Boston. Look good. Bond not rolling over for KC. Come get this work. Quarterbacks have some toys. Project Stockpile is alive and well. For the first time, we now are assembling weapons. Miss Bell said, only hit dogs holler, and the truth ain't angry. It sure ain't. Tanya says, Bucky on set with footage got him sick. Hey, he was there. Hey, look, bro, that's another thing people be excited about a little bit. They be mad that they got access like that. It's a lot. I know for a fact. I'm gonna be mad. We got to wait on well-off media. Come on, man. What y'all doing? Bianca says the moment Shedeur acted like J.J. McCarthy or Baker Mayfield, it would have been World War III, and they would have said it was the reason he fell. You know it. You know it, Bianca. You know it. You try to play that game. I said, bro, good one. That ain't gonna work here. Tanya G, Mary Kay, and Papa and Mama Littlefinger, the children, Lima, Jason, Motto, facts are optional when you're climbing the ladder of chaos. Jab 9237, you know. Forget the more chaos, the more ladders. It's a new rung. That Game of Thrones. People didn't think they was going to pull up for that Game of Thrones reference today. Miss Bell says, G, you're correct. I'm an NCS fan. The new Cleveland with the Shedeur fan. He leaves, I'm out. Will always watch you. Still not sure how they have loyal fans. Because we got loyal fans because there's still a holdout of us that believe in football. See, there's a reason why I tell people about football. And the reason I go so hard at football. I just see shout out to Chuck Terry. I played football with him. He's from Bedford. I saw him. I was walking with Rosie at night. He jumps out of his car. I'm like, oh, goodness. I don't know who it is. Jumps out of this Volvo. I think it's either that or Audi. Jumps out. And I hear, G. Bush. He stops in the middle of the road. I'm like, what the heck is this? But I see who it is. And he automatically came up and gave me a big hug. And we sat there and hugged in the middle of the street for like 3 to 5 seconds. People behind him was confused. Rosie was like, who is this? It's another large human like my husband. And they just hugging. And I told her I used to play football with him. And he's like, yo, I'll catch up with you. But it's a difference between when you're dealing with regular people and people you play with. You know why? You know why it's different? Because football gives you a bond through adversity, through pain, through sorrow, through triumph, through the exhilaration. You got another grown man give it everything he can. If I don't show up today, you lose. If you don't show up for me, I lose. The team loses. And there's a bond that grows through that because we understand that we had to all wake up and put blood, sweat, and tears in. We understand that we all was in that locker room, no matter if we was winning or losing. The record is what the record is. My record is your record. But there's a bond that's built with that because there's a level of integrity that comes with it. And it's hard for you to get football players to lie about certain things. You know why? Because it's instilled in you. And you don't get it by reading books or magazines. You get it by being forced to go through the stages of trauma to your body, to your mind, to your spirit. But it's also growth. It's also spiritual. It's also brotherhood. It's also integrity. It's also winning. It's also life lessons. And all those things wrapped up in one is when I see you, I'm going to hug and embrace you a different way. You know why? Because we both got something that we got in common. Remember that song with Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston? We got something in common. Boy, it was all downhill from there. That was something in common. It was a tough video. Let me see. Patrick Williams, G. Bush, the Browns win 2026. No quarterback will be drafted. Oh, listen. What do you mean? I already told you the bar is this. You go in the offseason next year and you still got your starting quarterback. We got 2 first-round picks, bro. That's why it don't make no sense for no Browns fan to not want Shedeur Sanders to be good. You got 2 first-round picks again next year. Do you know what you can do if you already have the quarterback? Come on. I missed the whole show, bro. Dang it. Hey, Real Night King, we talked about them Game of Thrones. Go back and check it out. DeJuan says the gaslighting is crazy with the media colleagues. How do you repeat the opposite of what a coach is saying about two? Just the exact opposite. No, not even. I actually think. See, that's the crazy part. You can say I actually think without no supporting details. At least where I'm at, my supporting details is this. Yeah, I just showed you. It's right there. CBS Rig, AB, please trade Jerry Jeudy. Focus on young hungry dogs, Bond, Boston, KC, Wallace, and Fanning. You don't even got to trade him. He going to have to compete. You know what Todd Monken said? No veteran days off. It's some spots available. Reverend BJ Nelson, thank you so much for a super sticker. We appreciate you. NFL rule, vet and young guy, even start the young guy. David Walker, it's that's a college rule. Bro, you are what you are. You're a finished product. We giving a job. I done been in both shoes, both sides of the rule. One of the coldest lines ever was when Malice said on the new Let God Sort Him Out album, he said, I done been on both sides. I've been both Mason Bethers. What? I done been both Maces? He been the rapper and the reverend? That's crazy. Bars. G. Bush, I'm convinced Bull knows nothing about football. He needs to stick to baseball and not even sure about that. He says that if Todd Monken has a chosen quarterback, they both stink. Mike Stephanie, that is unequivocally false. Because you need to know how the progression of football works. You need to know how you know if somebody's good or not. And with the absence of any sort of pad work, doing the things that actually concern football, you can't judge who's good or not. So who judges who's good or not doing something that's not actually what they do? How do you know if I'm good at doing a radio show unless I do one? Todd Monken said it so eloquently when he was on with Ken and Lima. I'm going to let everyone take the test. What you're advocating is calling someone the smartest person in the class without letting everyone take the test. No Manzer says, I wonder if anyone else picked up on when Shedeur said is on first team, so is Fano, and when he's on second team, so. I wasn't even supposed to be. I wasn't supposed to be breaking some of this down. I was supposed to save some of this stuff. Notice the reps. Notice the reps. It was a reason why when it got down to that Wednesday, they said, okay, Shedeur's getting the reps, first team reps, all of them. And Spencer Fano did too, right after they traded Myles Garrett. Coincidence? I don't know. MKC said in an interview that her Deshaun Watson's decision is based off him being a Pro Bowler in 2020. And then Deshaun Watson said 2020 is gone. Didn't he say that? Maybe I could find the clip for you, because I keep clips on deck. What'd he say? What'd he say?
I mean, it was a lot of ups and downs. You know, I learned a lot about myself. It wasn't anything, new for me. The situation and environment was probably new, just being with the type of injuries that I had. But outside of that, just keep. The relationship is great. I mean, Ms. D that I've been watching is Bryce Hart.
So that he had a comment somewhere. We'll see if we can find it. And he said specifically, nah, it's over.
Saw you on the field. You were
Do is just put out the best person I am, showcase who I am as a person, as a player, as a teammate, and what I represent as an individual. So outside of that, I can't focus on, what the outside is saying or what they, I have no control over that.
Do you think that you will have a better opportunity to be successful at it, given everything around will be a chance to show who the real Deshaun Watson is here?
Of course, and the only reason I really say that is because, it's the next opportunity. My mentality is one day at a time, and for love.
How are you a different person?
I think the biggest thing is, I'm an introvert now, so I don't really get into all the outside stuff and noise.
There's gonna be a lot of slow news cycles around here. The news cycle gonna be slow and easy. G, you sure you don't want to do another 2-hour show? Nah, I actually will do a 2-hour show. Pull back up tomorrow, and we will be doing my show, Top 5. Pull back up tomorrow. And we got in the top 5 for the show, the 5 most people, the top 5 people that need to have a great year for the Cleveland Browns. We're going to have the top 5 ready to go. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, we'll have the top 5 ready to go. Make sure you check us out tomorrow at 2 p.m. On the top 5. Let's see if I can find my little advertisement here, and we can get you guys ready to go. It'll be me. I think my Bush is up tomorrow. The CU Aunties is in the building. If you a CU Auntie, please pull up. She had a great episode the first game. Actually, she had more views. She had more views than more views than my dad, which is crazy. So make sure you check us out, top 5. We'll be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. right here on the channel. Wasn't Shedeur Sanders a Pro Bowler in 2025? Yes, he was. They be forgetting that, don't they? Don't they be forgetting? You know what I didn't forget, though? I didn't forget that we was cooking today. I hope everybody is going to have a nice day, because it should be very easy to chill out today. Because guess what? We don't have any more talking points. I don't think we do. And if you need the professor's notes, please go see the members. The members have the notes from class. And when they hit you with that talking point, you now are able to give those the notes of integrity. With that being said, you never know what you might show on radio, television, internet. But if you want a fresh cut on sports, I always keep the Clippers with me. Have a great rest of your evening. And as always, go Browns. By the way, this episode was sponsored by Football TV. Game day isn't just about the game. It's about who you share it with.
Hey, kickoff's in 2 minutes.
Let's go. With Fubo TV, your favorite teams are always right at home. From football and basketball to soccer and more, you can stream live sports, news, and entertainment all in one place. Miss something? No problem. With Cloud DVR, you won't miss a moment. And with Fubo TV, the game follows you from your living room to wherever life takes you. Because the best plays aren't just on the field. They're right here at home.
Fubo TV!
And now the show is over.